Jesus, this
What
video is boring as
Okay.
fuck. Holy fuck, dude. How is he so, like, fucking bald? I don't think I've ever seen somebody as bald as Blaha. I don't know how to explain it. Jasmine, have you ever seen anybody more bald? I don't think you can possibly become more bald than this. There's something about him that just seems especially bald to me.
You know what he reminds me of?
What?
You know those ugly creatures in Harry Potter that like scream when you pull them out of a pot?
Oh, yeah.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
He's like layered
The
and
mandrakes.
weird. Yeah, mandrakes. Yeah. That's what he reminds me of.
Yeah, he kind of looks like the mandrakes from Harry Potter. He actually does look a lot fucking like him. He does, though.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. He actually looks like
That's what I
him.
think of when I see Blaha.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Oh.
There are a ton of Hispanics that are Nazis. A ton. Blaha's Greek yogurt donated $3. Let me see.
Person out and associating with him in a professional manner. You know what? Fuck you. Alan, fuck you. You don't have any honor. You have no integrity. You're associating with this. You are a piece of shit. You are shouting this person out and associating with him in a professional manner.
Blaha is a literal Nazi. He has talked about how he was in favor of bombing the entire Middle East, killing all Saudi Arabian nationals in the US, even if they've never committed a crime or anything, just executing them. He wants to literally commit a holocaust of all Middle Eastern people. He's like just openly stated that. What else? What other crazy shit did he say? Basically, anybody who disagrees with his political views, like anybody who wants to ban guns, they should be executed. Oh, yeah. He also said that he wants to either enslave or kill Mexicans that are crossing the border. Oh, yeah. He also wanted to basically practice eugenics and let African populations die out and not give them things like vaccines, any kind of foreign aid, because they're useless to humanity. This is Blaha, and then he's calling out Alan Thrall for associating with some racist people. Like, Blaha is one of the most racist people I've ever fucking come across. Shit.
Greetings, Richard. You have been visited by the ghost of Big Lenny, rest in piss. Do we live in a universe where Jason Blaha got lean?
Your mind controls.
I think we sort of do live in that universe, kind of. Blaha has just completely ruined his life, though. He ended up sexually harassing his client, and I think he lost all of his other
How many
trainee
times
clients.
do you reckon I could kiss the tip of your penis until you bust in my mouth? Is the tip sensitive?
I don't actually have a particularly sensitive tip. Much more sensitive around the shaft. But thanks for the donation, Random Gal. Yeah, he sexually harassed his female client, and I think he's ended up losing the rest of his online coaching clients. He's making no money. He's basically living off of like welfare checks, essentially. and he doesn't even rent, like, he doesn't even have an apartment or house that he's renting. He's literally renting out a single room in this retired woman's house, and she let him use her garage to put all of his weightlifting crap in. So he just keeps managing to make life worse for himself. It's hilarious. Okay, so he's just an idiot rambling and he doesn't know anything.
Equally absurd. Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to chat with you guys and gals a little bit about this today. And again, I'm coming from just a place of common sense, understanding the human body, understanding nutrition, and understanding what the healthiest, fittest people on earth, what the best athletes have always done. And when you really look at both of these ideas objectively, they both need to be rejected outright. In terms of being what's optimal for health and fitness and athleticism. I'm not saying there can't be ethical considerations for people, but when your considerations extend beyond ethics, right, anything beyond your morality, and they come over into the other areas, these diets are both problematic. They are suboptimal, in many, many ways. All right. And we need to be aware of that. We have to quit pushing these.
By the way, Jason Blaha still has not been able to bench 405 pounds after years of training. It's got to be decades by now. Taking all the steroids he's wanted, and supposedly following the most ideal human diet. You know who has benched over 405 pounds? Me, after being vegan for 14 years. So
ideologies like this into health and fitness. And again, let me be clear, I'm not saying we can't follow a variety of macronutrients, okay? I'm not saying people cannot thrive on very low carbohydrate diets. I'm saying they cannot thrive without plants and vegetables. Okay, that's the problem with the carnivore side. And the other side equally with the veganism. Again, there are things that we benefit from, that we not only health-wise benefit from the animal stuff. Some of it gives you such an enormous advantage, especially when it comes to things like body composition, that it absolutely matters. And it matters.
Yes, you may not like it, but this is what peak male performance looks like. How could he ever achieve this amazing physique without eating meat? I just don't know how it would be possible. These amazing, huge biceps that Blaha has, there's no way I could ever get arms like those on a vegan diet.
Because the bulk of the data shows us that gaining muscle and maximizing muscle mass and minimizing body fat absolutely improves health in and of itself, right? There are health benefits to gaining muscle. There are health benefits to gaining muscle, and it's relatively open-ended.
Yeah, Blaha said he was on a plant-based diet, and he was clearly lying about it. He just lies constantly. I don't know why. He's just a pathological liar. He just does it. I know he was, like, a while ago, he said he was eating, like, meat and stuff for some of his meals on a live stream, so it's just another thing he lied about.
So let's discuss both of those, because obviously the vegan one feels like in some ways it's less obvious. Like you can't even be drawn towards the carnivore diet unless you're essentially insane. Right? It is not a diet for anyone remotely sane, logical, rational. It is itself a mental illness. But let's talk about the vegan one, because at least we can make an appeal to ethics. Right? We can make an appeal to ethics with it. And again, I can appreciate that. I can disagree with those ethics, but I can at least respect the fact. Right? We can respect that fact. Okay? That if it for them is about animal rights and animal welfare, whether it's correct or not, it's irrelevant. It's still well-meaning, and it's intended to be ethical and moral. All right. I can't hate that part of it and can say, hey, they have a right to that. A person has a right to their personal ethics. Absolutely. So the problem is again, the body composition and nutritional deficiencies. It's essentially a diet that without supplementation is not going to work. It is not going to work. It is nearly impossible to have perfect health on a vegan diet without supplementation because
I mean, that would be the case for any diet. I don't know what delusional fucking world this guy lives in, but most people are not eating a absolutely perfect diet where they meet every single macronutrient exactly. They're not low in any particular nutrient. Every single day they eat the exact same thing in a perfectly balanced manner. And again, there's so much research on like weird ancillary things like with like creatine. There's no way to get adequate amounts of creatine in your diet to get, benefits with muscle growth, cognitive function, just from getting it from diet. So there's an example where even if you're on a fucking carnivore diet, eating nothing but raw meat, chances are you're not going to be able to get enough creatine to actually maximize your creatine reserves to get those benefits. Like, everyone benefits from some level of supplementation.
is deficient in too many things. Now their argument would be, yeah, but we can supplement those things. True, but then we're over to your diet's not really optimal without adding a bunch of synthetic supplements back in, right? Not even talking about just protein.
By the way, this is the same guy who's used anabolic androgenic steroids for years. So he's willing to inject steroids into his ass, but he makes a big deal about taking a supplement. Need to take 5 grams. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
At this point. So we're talking about things like B12, okay? We're talking about various fatty acids, right? Even getting appropriate amounts of omega-3s. It's actually difficult. Not saying impossible, but it's difficult. But you definitely are going to start running into a variety of nutritional deficiencies if you're not extremely careful.
By the way, this is the guy who recommends taking omega-3 fish oil supplements. Oh, but supplements are bad. If you have to take a supplement, then your diet's deficient. In order to get the recommended daily intake of omega-3s, you'd have to eat like 2 large salmon fillets a day. No one's going to do that. So again, there's an example of you pretty much need to take a supplement unless you're just making weird dietary choices that are remarkably inconvenient.
With supplementation, with food choices, it creates a lot of extra work. And that alone, given the difficulty of pursuing a healthy diet and body composition today, is already hard enough without adding that extreme complexity. Okay?
Again, this is the guy who has no problem injecting steroids into his ass, but taking a dietary supplement is just too much work.
Furthermore, when it becomes an ideology instead of saying and addressing that, and many are not willing to do that, this is a problem. Okay, when it becomes the foods are bad because they're animal products, well, that's not true. There are plenty of absurdly healthy foods that are animal products that are linked to all sorts of health benefits.
That is really not true.
Okay, and positive health outcomes. So this idea that all disease is coming from animal products is absolutely ludicrous, especially when given that refined sugars play such an enormous and massive role in poor health, documented in the literature. They'll talk about also cardiovascular risk, yet, coconut oil will still be consumed. Coconut oil is absolutely linked to elevated LDLs, elevated to all sorts of problems. They're animal.
Yeah, and if you eat animal foods, that raises your LDL, either directly or indirectly. So directly, you might be eating animal foods that contain saturated fat and cholesterol, which raise your LDL, and indirectly because animal foods don't contain any fiber. So if you swap out steak, for instance, with tofu, not only does tofu have less saturated fat and no cholesterol, but it also contains fiber. If you swap out like any animal food for a plant food, chances are the plant food is going to actually contain fiber. So even if like the saturated fat content is the same, well, the plant food contains fiber, which lowers cholesterol.
Saturated fats in some forms that don't even produce that, like milk, right? Butter does, but
Milk has saturated fat.
whole milk, for example, is completely neutral in terms of that.
That's not true. Whole milk has saturated fat.
But a bunch of vegan products are not. Coconut
This guy's going on a rant about nutrition, and he doesn't even know, like he can't even read a nutrition label.
oil, even refined sugars impact your whole lipid profile. Okay, this stuff is garbage. These are enormous contributors.
Refined sugars do not increase your cholesterol in your blood. They might increase triglycerides, but they do not increase cholesterol.
Heavily refined vegetable oils. These are all vegan. These are all plant-based.
Refined vegetable oils are not bad for you.
They are enormous contributors to poor health. And at least
No, refined vegetable oils do not contribute to poor health.
the carnivore people will get that part right, while not admitting they probably shouldn't be eating the refined animal products they eat, like tons of bacon and butter, which we know are also linked to poor, terrible health and blood work and health outcomes. Because again, people are getting caught up in...
Okay, well that's Blaha. He likes to ramble. See some Blaha training. What? Dude, has he gotten way weaker?
Dr. Squatch is 100% vegan. Also, real question, how would one obtain steroids? No doctor will give it to you, so how is it obtained, L? Thanks.
You just order them online. You can order steroids online, and you can also order raw materials and just make them. So that's how most people get them, just online sales. In Canada, it's legal to buy them and legal to possess. So it's not really a big risk to order them in Canada. Depending on the state, it can be a risk because the police might, if it's illegal to possess them or illegal for personal use, then you could be prosecuted. So a lot of people just buy them through drug dealers in those cases. Or, again, depending on the laws, they might just buy raw materials and make them themselves. Thanks for the donation, Sergeant Taz. Yeah, I think he got way weaker. He's doing 225, 5x10.
Jason Blaha here, and once again it is time for a bench press training vlog. Buckle in.
Dude, when is he, like, saying he's gonna bench 405? He's doing 225.
It's going to be a long vlog. We're at about 16 minutes, and that's with me cutting most of the footage of walking to and from the camera. So it's pretty much 15 minutes of straight lifting. My volumes are pretty high. Side note, all the...
I will say with a high degree of certainty, this guy is never going to bench 405. He's going to die before he benches 405.
Thanksgiving bloat and inflammation is gone. Stuff back on the scale at 215 this morning. I'm hoping to see a slow downward general trend from here. How do I say this? My carbs are very, very low. I'm just going to admit to that. I drop bloat and inflammation easy when that happens. Now, that also means that, notice the lower back is a little tighter. Is it where it needs to be? Not even close. So we're going to keep cutting. And I've had to weigh out what I want to do. It's been a little bit...
Dude, even for dieting, like 225 for 10 when he's trying to bench 405 and he's on steroids. Like, what the fuck?
The concern of one reason I did a little bit heavier on
He's
the lower
never
the other
benching
day, because
405.
I'm like, my carb's lower. Can I really handle all the rep work? And I'm like, I'm going to need to. It doesn't matter. We muscle through it, get plenty of rest, plenty of recovery, make it work. And because again, what I really have to think about right now, body composition.
Like, I think Jasmine has more muscle on her arms than he does. And he works out and he's on steroids. Like, what is he fucking doing?
And I don't worry about the neural drive as much.
It's just
I'll worry
bizarre.
about neural drive when I
Dude, his arms have to be like close to 14 inches.
need my lifts big. And I may go back over to some 5x5 or some reverse pyramids eventually, but really high quality rep work really does need to be the name of the game. So again, the benching, this gave me the worst DOMs over a week ago that I've had in a long time in my pecs, of really trying to
this
do the
is
225
pathetic.
for all pause reps with a wide grip. My chest hurt for 4 days. I'm like, let's do this again.
That's amazing. Thanks for the donation, even though. Like, you even see him making weird mistakes. Like, it looks like he hit the J-hooks.
4 days. I'm like, let's do this again. Disclaimer, I didn't get 5x10. A couple of the sets, I got like 8.
He's not even, like, technically proficient in the lift.
Right? Something like the third or fifth set. Which, it's like, okay, we do what we can. But again, I can take longer breaks, and I noticed the strength came back. Same thing with the pull-ups. Just take the breaks a little longer, and we can get the volume in. All right, pull-ups. Last workout I did do chins. I decided to do pull-ups today. Why? I feel like with all the curls I'm doing, I don't know that I need to really worry about the chins. If I was not doing curls with a straight bar, chins might make sense, but I'm like, look, pull-ups, I'm just as strong on pull-ups. It will make sure that I get one really good back exercise in. It'll make sure I get that upper back. And I can just hammer curls. I mean, I'm doing 10 sets of barbell curls a week at this point. Right?
Okay, if he's doing 10 sets of barbell curls per week and his arms look like this, he needs to do a lot more, like, direct arm work. Like, holy shit, look at his arms. They're like, it looks like he literally is recovering from some sort of, like, surgery, or he has some sort of deformity.
That doesn't grow my biceps.
Can feel your
We got a problem.
boobs.
But show muscles are really going to be the name of the game. What's it going to be? Focus on arms first, and then pecs. Biceps, triceps, and then pectorals.
that we're looking
That's
right
what I
at
need
this
to
point.
work.
Yeah, I know.
Everything else
He's
is big. My
like
legs
an
are big.
retarded.
My back is big. As I get leaner, if I actually want to have a look, instead of just being a power lifter, I've got to bring those muscles up. And that's okay. Arms are going to be the priority. And I think when we watch the training,
Really it. Thanks for the donation, though, Diet.
obvious. Because notice I'm not thinking a lot about pecs and lats outside of my couple basic movements. But I am going hard on the arms. And everything still works arms, right? I did 25 total sets today. All of it works biceps or triceps. All of it. Plus, I was very specific. I'm selecting movements that'll make sure that I've got rotation and everything in the shoulder. Right? Extension, flexion, all that of the shoulder, so that I don't need to worry about shoulder work right now. I really don't. That way I can just focus on arms. Now, I'm still doing the pullovers because it helps with shoulder mobility, but it's a shoulder, it's a pec, lat, and a tricep exercise. Right? And the way that I do them is particularly very effective for a long head of the tricep and the pecs. But I digress. Back over to the other stuff. Notice
Do you decide to divorce? Thanks for the donation, though, Destiny.
kind of stacked at the bottom, trying to get the deepest stretch possible on the pecs. Okay, that's why we're pausing. That's why I've got a nice solid wide grip and we're flat back. Right, I'm trying to do no arch. Still digging my feet in tight, but no arch. All right, pull-ups, on most of them, I'm trying to come to a few reps I don't here and there, trying to come to the dead stop at the bottom. And I'm really being careful of it when I get near the end. Some of them are nice long stretches. hang for a minute. So that does kind of show that I'm really not holding on. Those are a full stretch. My range of motion has dramatically improved due to the pullovers. Could it be better? Yes. So I want to make that clear because that seems to come up all the time by newer people swinging through. Why don't you go all the way down on pull-ups? I literally am. I've had a lot of shoulder mobility issues that have developed from all the powerlifting as I've gotten up into my 40s, because I turn 47 next week. So a lot of issues have developed there, and accordingly I've lost some range of motion. So what are we doing? We're working on that. We're fixing it. We're correcting it. And you notice so much of the stuff stretches. Most of my movements stretch all of that stuff. Notice it's all pull-ups, trying to get them into a stretch, pull-overs with a plate. All my tricep extensions are done all the way back behind the head to, again, stretch everything. So we're putting a lot of effort into loading those lengthened and stretch positions so that I can improve that mobility. Really?
So he does bench, pull-ups, and then lying tricep extensions.
React
These are
to this.
Alex. Hope that helps. So this is going to be terrible.
All right, let's see your backs. Let's see what you guys do that's superior, and let's see shots of your back. That's what I thought. All right.
It's not quite as bad as I thought it would be.
We're going to pretend one of these sets of extensions didn't happen. I decided to pull those plates off and put a 45 on it.
It's kind of weird. Like, I think he's going way too far back on the skull crushers. They should be touching his head.
Each side just to see how it felt on my fourth set of these. I don't know why I did that. I'm like, let me just see. I got 5 reps. They were good reps.
Yeah, I don't know why he's doing that. It should be going down towards his head.
But I got 5, and then that was pretty much all I could do. So I dropped back down to this for the last one. All these were sets of 12. I'm just going to mark it as if I did 5 by 12 with this instead of that one heavier set, so that we don't revisit that. But at least I know that I can handle the weight through a full range of motion. Well, that's nice. But really, I need to be getting
here we go.
Quality volume. All right, curls. I'm continuing with what.
So he calls this a curl.
I've been doing a full range of motion.
Dude, the amount of swinging, jerking, not controlling the negative, not doing a full range of motion, and then he's wondering why his arms are so small and weak.
Curl. I am leaning forward so that I can lock the bottom.
Dude.
Right, so that it's not stopping, my thigh's not stopping the range of motion.
Probably wouldn't be an interesting debate. Alright, let's see some more bloach mode.
They're not crazy strict, but they don't need to be because we're working the bicep.
Yeah, you clearly need more strict form. Dude, you're like swinging and jerking up 95 pounds. And your arms are tiny.
Very, very hard here. I'm actually getting a great bicep pump, and I'm feeling a lot of stimulus when I'm doing these this way. Very happy with that. I'm going to keep doing that. But the other thing is, keep in mind, because there is that rotation happening in the shoulder, that brings other muscles in as well. Keeping in mind, I keep tension on the bicep because watch my wrist position when I do those. When I'm at the top, the bicep is still loaded. That's kind of a big deal. And I'm shocked because my generation all knew that because we all read that Arnold Schwarzenegger book, and he explained all that to us like 30 years ago, whatever it was, 25. You know, we all read that book, and he explained that in there. Oh, you know, you just cock the wrist back like this, and you won't strain your forearms, and it won't be a forearm exercise. You'll actually work your bicep. See, all these guys doing the opposite. They're turning it into a wrist curl. And then when they get to the top, there's no load on the bicep. In this case, people can see that when soon
he's just swinging the weight up. There's not an adequate amount of tension across his bicep for a prolonged enough period of time. Like you can just see his arms. His arms are fucking tiny. And then he's saying, oh, this way I'm getting way more tension across the bicep. You're swinging the weight up and just letting it fucking drop.
As it starts reverse on the eccentric, the bicep takes all of it. When you do it that way, as soon as you get to that peak contraction, you start lowering, you're at the contracted position and the bicep takes the entire eccentric load.
It's not going to take the eccentric load when you just let the bar fucking drop.
What does that mean?
Blaha is a fucking clown, dude. Oh, here we go.
Percent. But I did the breaks really short on these because this is just not as difficult of a movement. Even if
What
it feels
does
really
he think
fatiguing
he's
at the end.
doing?
These aren't really to failure. I'm just chasing a stretch and a pump. So I did really short breaks, like 30 seconds, just to get these out of the way quicker. I think if I try to increase weight on these, though, which I may in the future, all right, we might have to take longer breaks. Because I haven't been working on progressively overloading these. I'm just focused on the stretch, building up to the 45 and getting this range of motion. And the range of motion is improved.
You know, it's funny. He talks about people being lazy when they train. He's one of the laziest fucking people I've seen when it comes to fucking training. Like, when it comes to exercises he doesn't want to do, he just does fuck all.
It's not fully where I want it yet, but it's improved. You know, I actually had someone in the comments go, can you do, you know, are you good at overhead squats? And I'm like, I don't think I could do an overhead squat with a broomstick. I don't.
So for the one session, he literally only benched. He didn't do any fucking accessory work either. And then he's wondering why he can't get to 405.
Know that I can get my arms into that position yet. Again, this is why we're doing all this stretching movements, all this stuff pulling my arms above my head. This is the area things I haven't been able to do. But you look at what do these movements bring aesthetically to the table, they'll bring a lot. Okay?
That is embarrassing. Like, actually embarrassing. Bench day, another bench day, 3 days ago.
Hey,
Fuck his rail.
Well, fuck you, Derek. Thanks for the donation. Jalen donated $2. Did you watch the Bivel video? What do you think? I haven't seen it yet. I still gotta watch it. Thanks for the donation, man.
everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it is time for a bench press day. And today I pretty much kept with what I've been doing. I did back the volume down one set on the bench and the chin-ups today, and the reason for that, I had a ridiculous amount of DOMs in my pecs all through the weekend. And I've realized, man, this type of training for my chest on the bench is really effective for me to be doing all these wide grip pause reps, flat back for high reps.
Okay, so this is the exact same workout.
So I'm going to have to ease into it a hair, but I feel that the overall volume is going to be really, really...
That is hilarious. So right now, I'm able to do 280 for sets of 10. And he's only doing 225. And he still says he's stronger than me. Let's see his informative videos. Why the squat is king of all exercises.
Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to chat with you guys a little bit about the barbell back squat and why I feel it is the king of exercises. You know, and when I bring this up, other people will say, well, you don't need the squat for leg growth. Well, yeah, that's true. I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm not saying squats are required for leg growth. What I'm saying is they're a foundational exercise. And a lot of people need other supplemental work for quad growth and things like that beyond the squat. And I'm not denying that. But it does not remove their place as a fundamental exercise. You know, again, people say, well, front squats. Well, hey, I think front squats are great. Not everyone can do them effectively. In my opinion, the front squat is harder to master. There's going to be a lot more mobility involved, and it doesn't do more than the back squat does. So we need a context for that. All right. I feel like, again, the overall loading of the back squat brings a little more to the table. And I'm not saying front squats are not a great exercise. I prescribe them to people routinely. And I think they can be very, very successfully implemented when combined with back squats. But the thing is, you look at the sport like weightlifting that uses the front squat almost as part of the sport-specific training. Most of them still back squat. Not all of them, but the majority of the top champions in that still do back squats. A lot of them do a lot of back squats.
This guy is only strong on squats and deads. Can't do any push movements with good weight. He has no development. Also, squats are easy to get strong in, you can even have weak quads and just raise it up with your hips.
Well, yeah, he's only good at squats and deadlifts. Any other exercise, he just sucks at them. And yes, depending on how you do squats, you don't need particularly strong quads, especially if you have a low bar style squat. I think Blaha does have fairly strong quads, but yeah, his squat has actually regressed tremendously. Because he was before doing sets of squats with 405, and now he's only doing 315. So, I'm assuming he's using less steroids right now, and that's why all of his lifts, including a squat and dead, are way, way behind again. But he just doesn't know how to fucking train, period. He relies entirely off of drugs. Thanks for the donation, though, Gohan.
Let's come over and discuss this. It just has to do with overall loading and demands placed upon the body. Okay? It has the potential to work the quads, glutes, and adductors in an extremely effective way that can build all of them. Again, depending upon how you perform it. I'm not telling you to do a low bar power squat necessarily. I'm doing Olympic type squats here, right? The bar's sitting up on my traps, okay? I'm not going crazy wide. I kind of go with the stance that allows me to get the deepest personally, get the most stretch in my quads. That's what I do, right? But I've also done power squatting in the past where I go real wide, right? But that cuts depth. So really what I'm telling people is a bar placement and a stance that lets you get pretty deep, lets you...
Dog,
Doc.
what are you doing?
Are you being sneaky?
I heard her doing something back there.
Yeah, but she's looking for a snack. I bet this puppy's looking for a snack.
Hey, Jasmine.
Yes?
Could you make me a coffee, please?
No.
Okay.
Dog.
Okay,
There you go.
well, I guess I got a dog now.
Oh, wow. Oh, your mouse. She's like, what have you done? She's like, where am I? What am I doing? What's happening? Things like, what about me? Here's a dog. She's breeding. There's another one. You see?
Jesus. Okay, take her.
He says I'm done.
You get well below parallel. Like that's what you should be shooting for, right? One that really puts that stretch on your quads. And so the question becomes, why? Because it's a full body exercise. It's a full body exercise. It places a lot of stress on the body. It can absolutely grow those three primary movers, the quads, the glutes, the adductors. Those are some of the biggest muscles in the body. They are the primary movers on it. And anyone who tells you you can't build quads with a squat. They don't know how to teach the squat for your body type. Now, is it better for that for some body types more than others? Yes, but you can still build the quads with other body types. Okay. But when you look at what it brings to the table for just
Okay, boring.
hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and I thought I would sit down and do a video for you guys in response to a comment I got. Just sipping my water, get my radio voice going. Give you guys a forearm shot. Let's talk about this. All right. This is one of these points I'm going to hit home because I really and truly believe, based upon the sum total scientific evidence, that the carnivore diet is probably the worst thing anyone has ever come up with. I would even go so far as to say it may actually in some ways be worse than a standard American diet. Other than a lot of people lose weight on it, and that's probably the only redeeming thing that keeps it from being worse. And that's kind of the take home. Literally, the ability to create a calorie deficit on it is the only reason it is not worse than a standard American diet.
Well, you can create a calorie deficit on a standard American diet, so that's not necessarily a benefit of the diet. I would say carnivore diet is worse than a standard American diet. It's probably, you're probably more likely to be deficient in a number of things. Namely vitamin C, if you're actually following a carnivore diet. As traditionally outlined, you're not going to get enough vitamin C from eating only skeletal muscle tissue. And you do see, anecdotally, people reporting getting symptoms of scurvy following a carnivore diet. I've seen people claim after following it for over a month, their gums are starting to bleed and their teeth are getting loose. That's a classic symptom of scurvy. On top of that, you are going to be deficient in a number of things, like certain B vitamins, folate deficiencies, especially for pregnant women, are very dangerous because they can lead to birth defects in children, Down syndrome being one of them. So I would say it's demonstrably worse. It's way higher in saturated fat and cholesterol. You're more likely to get vitamin and mineral deficiencies because, again, you're only eating skeletal muscle tissue. Devoid of fiber. And a lot of people also claim they gain weight on a carnivore diet because, again, it's usually so high in fat. So it's not even necessarily a benefit of the diet that you're able to maintain a caloric deficit.
That's it. It's ridiculous. And so when people say you can't deny the Jordan Peterson thing and Michaela, yes, you absolutely can. And here's the thing. Jordan Peterson has caused an enormous amount of harm by promoting this, to the point where, irrespective, because I don't care what his other opinions are, I don't follow his work, that because he has created so much harm by popularizing the carnivore diet, his net evil contribution to humanity is evil. Okay? Because I always say that we balance the scales. None of us are completely good or completely bad. It's all about balancing the scales in life. And in this case, any good he could have done, whether you believe that it's good or not, is offset by the sheer destructive evil that he's caused by this. Because it is really stupid. And the thing with his daughter's IBS, what people have to understand, there are other methods of treating IBS that are...
I don't think she ever claimed she had IBS. IBS isn't even a particular condition. It's irritable bowel syndrome is like a catch-all phrase for just saying you have some sort of general discomfort or problem with your digestion. It's not an actual condition. But I don't think she even claimed she had IBS. She just claimed she had sensitivities with food. She would claim that if she ate strawberries or something, she'd get depression. just nonsense like that. She also claimed she thought that certain foods contributed to her early onset arthritis, but she has no evidence of that. Apparently she had rheumatoid arthritis.
More effective, that you don't just go to the extreme of cutting out all vegetables from your diet long term. That's ludicrous, because you're going to kill yourself with other stuff. In other words, okay, so you've temporarily alleviated symptoms of the condition, and just as many people following a low FODMAP approach have better approaches. And you need to consult, and a lot of times people have trouble with this because they don't follow the dietary recommendations. I know lots of people who they get dietary recommendations for whatever illness they have, and then they don't follow it fully. And this is why you have problems. Just like people who have had celiacs. There have been so many cases of people diagnosed with celiacs who are like, well, I occasionally try to work a small piece of bread in. Well, you can't do that, ever. That's it. There's for life. You have celiacs, you don't touch gluten even in trace amounts. You don't. And if you do, then you're stupid. So we come over to this thing of, if you cut your vegetables to zero, and this is not my opinion, this is evidence and data from country after country after country after country. All right, vegetable intake is inversely correlated with cancer rates, cardiovascular disease, all these things. And it's not just a small difference. It's even inversely correlated with obesity. In other words, statistically, people who eat very large amounts of vegetables get all of these diseases at dramatically lower rates than people who don't. It's not a small difference. It's enormous. It's one of the largest lifestyle factors.
One of the few things Blaha is right about.
It is up near the top. So it's things like fruit and vegetable intake. You're taking them to zero. What you are doing is dramatically increases your chances of getting cancer and various cardiovascular disease. And then people say, well, I know this person who never had those, or I did whatever carnivore for 20 years. Nobody's been doing carnivore for 20 years. Shut up. This is a fairly new phenomenon. You haven't gone over 20 years without eating vegetables. And if you have, don't tell me your health is perfect, because I know it's not. But you also, if you haven't gotten cancers and things, you've just gotten lucky. That is on par with someone saying, I played one round of Russian roulette and I'm still alive. Therefore, Russian roulette's not dangerous. That is the level of logic. Because 5 out of 6, you're still alive, right? It's not dangerous. I'm alive. I don't think it's risky. Now, people say you can't compare a carnivore diet to a 1 in 6 chance you're going to die right there from it. Really? I think we could take it to 3. And I think you could run 3 in the chamber.
Detonation Adderall will fix you, Richard.
I think that's on par with the carnivore diet. Trying to do a carnivore diet long term is literally like playing Russian roulette with 3 in the chamber, not with 1. I think that's a reasonable, completely reasonable assessment. So you come over to the point of that, you got Peterson, who has promoted this nonsense. That is causing harm. You need to do some internal housekeeping, Jordan. And let's set all that stuff aside. What about the long-term effects for your gut health? People are doing this oftentimes for severe IBS. Okay, well, what happens when you've been doing it for a year or 2 and you have gut flora extinction? Again, my friend Alex Leaf, he did graduate work in protein overfeeding. It's one of the guys I've cited for some of that. I'm friends with him and his wife, Brianna. They've repeatedly pointed this out. This is a problem. The gut flora extinction is a real thing. And once your gut flora from getting no fiber for food had died off, you may not be able to get them back. So now you're going to have an almost untreatable, bigger version of IBS in the long term. Okay? There may be no coming back from it. Now, there is certain success rates with fecal transplants. For those not curious, that is literally what it sounds like. Someone else's.
Usually when people claim they have IBS or something, unless they have some kind of actual diagnosis of something wrong, I just think they're full of shit. Like, people complain about farting a bit. I mean, is that necessarily a fucking problem? There are so many people who make such a huge fucking deal out of nothing. Like, okay, they feel a little bloated or they fart a bit more. That doesn't mean there's necessarily anything fucking wrong with you. And usually those sorts of feelings go away if you just stick to the same diet long enough. Like, if I introduce foods that I'm not used to, I fart a bit more. Like cherries, I'll fart like crazy when I first start eating them, when they get back in season, and then after a couple weeks of just eating cherries regularly, I stopped farting.
React to this.
That's just great.
Fecal matter is taken out and put inside you to try to reproliferate your gut flora. There is some success with that, but it's not 100%. This is the problem you're creating with this sort of nonsense. And so people will say, well, you can't deny it. Well, you can deny anything you want because the data doesn't support it. And a few case studies of people having some improvements when you don't know what else they did because people are claiming it. We're not talking about these medical doctors and dietitians are documenting what she did or didn't do or her current stuff in health. They're not documenting this. This is a person claiming it. All right? This is just a person claiming it. You don't have real documentation of it and the benefits and how supposedly healthy she is now. And then what do we say? What happens if 3 years from now she gets cancer?
Jordan Peterson's wife actually did get really aggressive kidney cancer. And that was, I think, 2 years after following a carnivore diet. It's pretty hilarious. And Michaela will say, oh, my parents' health is amazing after following the carnivore diet. And then she, funnily enough, leaves out her mom getting fucking cancer whenever she mentions how healthy her parents are on a carnivore diet.
Gets a severe cancer and dies from it. Are people then going to say, well, you can't deny the effectiveness? Right?
Well, Blaha is right for the most part on that particular issue, funnily enough. It'd be nice if he could get criminally charged for it. He probably won't. Thanks, though, Dodo. 21st Savage donated, 21st donated $2. You were name-dropped, nigga. Really? That's funny that he'd mention me by name.
Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to chat with you guys a little bit about something I find really amusing because, you know, I make videos discussing nutrition, and what's interesting is the two most extreme diet groups being vegans and carnivore diets because they literally...
Yeah, vegans are an extreme diet group because we live the longest, have the lowest risk of chronic disease, and we're also not supporting a Holocaust. So I guess that is extremely good.
They cut out half of the foods, like normal foods that you...
By the way, this fucking moron, he like has like 8 teeth left. His teeth are fucking rotting. He has corn niblets for teeth. The only thing he can eat is yogurt. And then he's fucking talking shit saying a vegan diet's extreme. Motherfucker, you can only eat yogurt.
would be eating, they cut half of them out of their diet completely. So again, that's very, very extreme, because it's not like they're cutting out, oh, let's cut out junk food. No, they're
He's
cutting
also
out
on
whole
steroids and
foods.
shit too, as if that's
And
like
what's
less
interesting
extreme than
to
a vegan
me is
diet.
how both groups adamantly defend, because both groups come and argue with me and attack me, and it's really funny because you would think that they would be polar opposites, right? You would think they would be polar opposites and they would be fighting each other, but instead both groups come and argue with anyone who says, hey, we should be eating both plants
Vegans constantly get into debates with carnivores. The fuck are you talking about?
and animals, right? They actually attack normal balanced diets, like are those of us who promote it. They want to argue with
Haven't
us,
seen the
and
new
it's
jig, bro.
It's really insane, you know. It's really insane. But then again, you know, sane people don't gravitate to these types of diets, you know, for the most part. They're extreme. But that being said, both groups love to make the exact same argument for their diet. All right?
No, we do not make the exact same arguments for our diets. Vegans will actually use ethical arguments in support, like, again, it's a moral philosophy and lifestyle. So the whole reason you're on a vegan diet is to not violate animal rights. And those are the arguments relating to a vegan diet. If you're trying to convince somebody to go vegan, usually, if you mention something like nutrition, it's because people have concerns about nutrition, and you just have to explain, well, in fact, it just so happens that it's healthier. It's easy to do. You'll probably like lose weight, feel better. You're going to have lower risk of chronic disease. Carnivores will make like bizarre claims saying like plants have toxins and shit. It's entirely health-based, and none of their claims are based in science or fact. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Actually, both groups are wrong. Both groups are completely wrong. And they will come and argue that, you know, the vegans will say plants, and of course the carnivores will say from animals, right? That you can get everything that you need. There's not one nutrient that you can't get, and
That is not true. You need to supplement with B12.
ideal amount.
And I mean, there's a recognition too that individuals may have to supplement with different things. Like I always advocate for supplementing with D3 because most people aren't going to get enough sunlight. And I'm not going to claim that there aren't benefits to taking certain supplements like creatine, taurine. What is he talking about?
From an all vegan diet, if they're vegan, or the carnivores from an all animal source diet, right? Both groups argue this point. And it's so provably false. Okay? Literally, both groups have to supplement.
Yeah, okay, so 84% of the American population is deficient in vitamin D. About 20% is deficient in iodine. Roughly that same amount is deficient in iron. That mostly comes from women, however. There's actually quite a lot of vitamin C deficiencies. It's not to the point where you'd get scurvy, but there's about a 10% rate of vitamin D deficiency among omnivores. Folate is actually very frequently deficient among meat eaters, and that's a huge risk factor for women who plan on getting pregnant because folate deficiencies cause Down syndrome. So this idea that people don't have trouble getting in adequate nutrition regardless of the diet they eat is just fucking stupid. Like what, you think because you eat pepperoni pizzas, you're getting all the nutrition you need?
And then you start talking about strength training in athletes, and there's even larger deficiencies, right?
I'm bigger and stronger than you. Okay, like what does Blaha weigh when he's not fat? Like what? I think he got down to like 200 or 210. I'm 250, leaner than he is, and I can outlift him. So, and I'm not on steroids. He is. He's on a ton of fucking gear.
It's even more difficult to get what you need. Okay, it's even more difficult. But we're talking just for overall general health.
Okay, buddy, I still have all my teeth, all my hair. So, I don't know. At least my teeth and hair are getting the nutrition they need.
Okay, and the vegans will argue this, and it's like, well, not really, though. Without supplementation, you can't. And I'm not saying people can't supplement to get around these things. In fact, I'll go so far as to say that between these two diets, it's probably easier to supplement and correct issues on the vegan diet than it is the carnivore. The
Well, at least you
carnivore
said
is
that.
arguably the worst of the two. Okay?
Well, it absolutely
I
is the
wanna be
worst of the
clear
two.
there. Philosophically, the carnivore diet is cool. Practically, it is literally moronic beyond all belief. Okay? Just make that clear. That's my opinion, by the way. My opinion. You know, of course, you take the vegan diet, and I think that philosophically, it's fucking batshit nuts. That's my opinion.
Yeah, philosophically, it's batshit nuts. That's why you dodge every debate I've ever offered with you, right?
Practically, it makes more sense than the carnivore diet. It probably practically makes more sense than a lot of fad diets, at least in the ability to apply it and the ability to not hurt your health too bad if you're very careful. Now, if you're not careful, it can harm you quite badly. Okay?
If you're not careful, it can harm you quite badly. Dude, the rate of obesity and heart disease and cancer among the American public is out of this world, and then he's saying a vegan diet can harm you quite badly. Really? What's more dangerous? Geez. Thanks for the donation, though, Killian Titan. Appreciate it.
It's kind of the ironic part between the two. But that aside, you know, they'll say that you can get everything you need, but it's like, but you can't. You really can't. The vegan one, it's, you know,
Dude, what is that? Do you see that? Like, that line? Is that like a really weird vein, or like, is that loose skin? That looks really fucking weird.
a little less bad.
A vegan diet is a little less bad. Literally, the Californian Adventist vegetarians are the longest living population, and again, among them, the vegans do the best. The vegans live the longest, and they're the least prone to disease. A vegan diet's a little less bad. Thanks for the donation, though, Dutchy. Appreciate it.
Foods. So it does require significant supplementation. You know, in that case, B12, omega-3. Now, before they say, but you can get it all from ALA, you know. Yeah, but there are problems with using purely ALA as your omega-3.
For adults, there doesn't seem to be any benefit to supplementing EPA-DHA. Like, really, to get the recommended daily intake, you'd have to eat so much fish, it's just not really realistic. So, in either case, you'd be taking a supplement anyway to get the RDA.
Okay, we know those problems. It's been found in the literature over the years.
Nope, it has not.
Okay, it is not perfect and it's not without problems.
Nope.
The B12, yeah, it has to be supplemented. In fact, it's been argued by many experts over the years that possibly the B12 deficiency and the brain.
There is no difference in B12 deficiency rates between vegans and omnivores so long as vegans supplement or eat fortified foods. So, it's just a non-issue.
Problems are one of the reasons you see that's a hypothesis some have. Some very intelligent experts. That
Yeah,
might be why so many
experts,
vegans exhibit
literature.
So much mental illness, B12
I know
deficiency.
things.
Because some of them will get so extreme and claim, well, you don't even have to supplement. Well, that's where they're going to really hurt themselves. Like that is an extreme. But yeah, the B12 has to be supplemented. B12 supplements. All the vegans will die. Problem solved. They'll eventually die from it. I know that sounds terrible. Carnivore, on the other hand, my God, they're missing everything. Adrenal glands. You're going to go try to find adrenal glands. Mental illness and cognitive dissonance required to say, I am so terrified to eat some broccoli. I'm going to purchase and slice up raw adrenal gland to eat. All right. What's all the other stuff? All the fiber. Fiber is essential for health. How about all the phytonutrients, all these other antioxidants? Because they're only looking at the main micronutrients that we track normally. Oh, there's a whole host of other stuff.
You know, it's so strange. He'll acknowledge that, you know, fiber is so important, phytonutrients are so important, and then he's like recommending foods that have none of those things. It's strange. Is it true that the high feeling you get from nicotine might be an early sign of nicotine poisoning? No. Never heard of getting high off nicotine, even from smokers. No, if you're not used to taking nicotine, you're just going to get a really good buzz from it. So from, like, I don't think you're getting much nicotine from a cigarette, but in lozenges, you can take 4 milligrams. So you can get pretty high off of lozenges. But yeah, it's just dopaminergic. It releases a lot of dopamine, makes you feel really good.
That we benefit from enormously. In fact, when they start being anti-vegetable or anti-fruit, any of this stuff, you know that they're ignoring all sorts of fruits and vegetables have lower all-cause mortality across. But the ironic part, both of these groups will argue adamantly. They will argue into the ground. Balance makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, the guy who can only eat yogurt is talking about being balanced when it comes to food choices.
Either. What good are these people going to be to society? We are wasting trillions of dollars educating people who can't do shit. They're worthless to society.
Yeah, the guy who's getting disability payments and he's on Section 8 housing.
Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and I thought I would just relax. Work on my
this
little
guy's
arts and
such a
crafts here, and
retard.
I will make a video soon. A few people keep asking me things.
How old is Jason Blaha?
I think he's getting pretty old. He's got to be around 50 now. Jason Blaha, age. Apparently, he's 47. Dude, he's younger than Greg Doucette. That's actually fucking nuts. Yeah, I think Greg is turning 50 this year, and Jason Blaha is 47. Holy shit, dude. Yeah. Talk about making less than ideal lifestyle choices. Thanks for the donation, James. Thanks for the donation, Boonav.
Sales are the ones that will spread the energy out.
Jason Blaha replied to your reaction to his video from a few streams ago.
Did he now? Let me see. Yes, VG literally said this week, one, haven't made any gains. Below is me on Monday at age 47. Dude, really? He's that fucking triggered? Is this him? He still doesn't have a fucking checkmark. Oh, no, wait, he does have a checkmark. This is him. He's actually that triggered. Haven't made any gains. Below is me on Monday at age 47. Yeah, he has to mention his fucking age because otherwise... that I just bought this McDonald bar because I don't know how to train and think a new bar will fix it. Have been using it on camera off and on since 2020. Well, that settles that. Carry on. This is the normal shit he fucking does every time he wants to obfuscate, like, any sort of criticism. So, I've never seen him use this cambered bar before. I'm pretty sure that's a new bar. I've seen him use a different cambered bar for squats. I've been following him fairly closely since, like, ever since the ice cream fitness days. I've been following him pretty closely. Never seen him use that cambered bar before. So I'm pretty sure he's lying, and that's a new bar. Secondly, my criticism of his training was that he's claiming to train for 405 bench, and he was only lifting 225, and while using the cambered bar, he was still going to about the same depth as he would with a normal straight Olympic barbell. He was doing, like, partial reps with a fucking cambered bar. And rather than, like addressing those criticisms, like, oh, this was a light training day, or it was a deload, or something. And then like also dealing with the fact that he wasn't using a full range of motion and saying something like, oh, I didn't want to injure myself. It's the first time using the bar. No, he mentions that he's 47. I don't know how the fuck that's relevant. 47 isn't fucking 87. When you're 47 years old, it's not like you're fucking falling apart. There are people who are still getting stronger and breaking records into their fucking 40s. So that's fucking nonsense. You can still develop strength even into your 50s. So his age has nothing to do with this. He's also on steroids, and he just makes up this fucking excuse. Oh, I'm old and I've been using this bar for a while, so there. Has nothing to do with the criticisms I made against him. I mentioned he's weak, which he is. He's weak as shit, and I think it's probably because he's off PEDs right now, and he doesn't know how to train. And he's not even lifting properly. And rather than explaining why he's lifting in a certain way, or why he's using this amount of weight, he just talks about something completely different, like his fucking age. Like, that's his fucking excuse? Oh, you're only benching 225. That's pathetic. I'm 47. What a loser.
Our free metabolic assessment.
Oh yeah, the metabolic assessment thing.
Hey,
All right, let's
everybody.
watch some Blaha mints. Looks like he's lifting very light weights once again, even though apparently he is trying to train for a 405 bench.
It's Jason Blaha here, and this is the first workout of the new year. And overall, very happy with the workout, not happy with the JM presses. But the workout itself felt like I really got into a good groove with a bunch of lifts, got a tremendous pump. I decided to, with my pressing, because I have done so much pause benching, and I have pointed out there's absolutely merits to pause benching, but part of the problem with touch and go is that people bounce, okay? And when you bounce, you reduce.
Oh, that is weird. He looks like naked or wearing a diaper or something. So he's doing 5 sets of 10 with 225. So for comparison, my last workout last week, when I was doing light benching, I did 290 for sets of 10. So I don't know what this guy is thinking. Like, he's just never going to bench 405. Why is he using 225? It's just so weird. I thought he was like stronger at this point.
Chest work, okay? But I'm like, I see so many bodybuilders, and I've talked to a lot of bodybuilders who are like, well, I still get a tremendous chest pump on benching if I keep everything tight and I don't bounce. So I wanted to mess with it a little bit and just see if I could get a continual just pumping movement.
It makes me blush seeing Blaha's labia folds peeking through his training bottoms when he benches.
Kind of makes me more gag. But thanks for the donation, Adam. Appreciate it.
On it for a full range of motion, and I went ahead and I did all my flat benching and my incline that same way. Michael, let me just do my pull-ups the same way, all right? Just come in and just do it all like a piston up and down. Do my longest ranges of motion. And on the pull-up,
Like, he's just so gross. Like, why doesn't he wear normal fucking clothes?
I'm pretty much just trying to hit my stretch at the bottom, and I'm fully aware a lot of people feel like that isn't the full range of motion. And for a lot of people it wouldn't be. That is as far as I can go. But I'm trying to hit that stretch really hard when I do it. And then some of it I'm trying to just hang a little. And I think what I want to keep working on is doing the dead hangs more and more in between workouts. Right? I think that's really going to be a big part of the key with that is those dead hangs, because they do so much. Right? They do so much. I'm just such a fan for that purpose. And I feel like that'll help also. And I'm not doing the pullovers at the moment, mainly because I have so much other chest and back work that I feel like the pull-ups themselves and then dead hangs will do what I want for now. And I may work them back in. Don't get me wrong, pull-ups are great, pullovers are great. So it's just a matter of looking at how much total volume I'm doing, because what I'm doing with
all the pressing and pulling, I've got 20 sets for chest, 20 sets for lats every week right now. There comes a point where it's like, I don't know if I can handle more. And if I do anything more than that, I really want it to be arms, right? I really want it to be my arms. So if you guys will notice on these benching,
like my mom, who I think is older than him, she has bigger arms than he does. Like his arms look so small and skinny, it literally looks like he has some sort of physical problem, like he's got a deformity or he was like injured in some weird way, like shot in his arms or something. For the longest time, he keeps saying, oh, I want to build bigger arms. I need that for a big bench. And then he barely does any arm training. When he does do arm training, it's terrible. He just swings the weight. I just don't get it. Like, he just doesn't want to get better.
I'm staying super, super tight. I'm keeping my chest under stress, just trying to get a stretch reflex. I am absolutely not bouncing. We do not bounce. Do not bounce. And it actually gave me a great chest pump. Same thing, just trying to keep my pull-ups the same way now, of just trying to keep tension on those lats, get that stretch at the bottom through what I am capable of doing. And I felt like when I went over to these on the last couple sets, I went to a thumbs over the bar, because I've noticed sometimes that's always felt good on my shoulders in the past when I had some shoulder issues, particularly when I've gone over to the fat bar. And it actually felt really good. So I'm just going to continue with these trends, you know. I feel like still I'm going to need...
Hasn't he been using 225 on bench for like these sets of 10s for a while now? Like, does he not realize he needs to gradually add more weight?
Tons and tons of tricep work. And so I wanted to mess with a couple things. I'm trying to rotate through kind of the exercises that I've got the most out of. I feel like the most tricep pump. And the JM press just wasn't doing it for me today. And I'll talk about that. So I'm going to put an extension back into that slot. I really pretty much need 2 tricep isolations. Right? I think I need that every upper body day. Again, because my arms do need the most work. And by the way, I had someone comment, and I get a lot of positive comments, and it does make me feel better, because I think people need to remember, number one, obviously I have trolls and people just smack talk me 7 days a week. A lot of people are not aware of that, but it's
not available. Thanks for the donation, T. Appreciate it.
Onslaught barrage. Like, even the ones who think they might be the only ones doing it, you're not. And plus, I do have a bit of...
Why no racing sims lately? I just haven't been playing much games lately, but we'll probably play some more, whatchamacall, WRC at some point.
Body dysmorphia. So I actually had someone chime in and said, dude, believe it or not, your arms actually look pretty good. Yes, they could be bigger for your proportions. They actually are looking pretty good. You've put in a lot of work. So I would...
Blaha thinks his arms are looking pretty good. Right, dude.
I appreciate it, and I do get some of that from different people. In public, it's different. People think they have big arms in public. It's kind of funny.
Nobody thinks you have big arms.
But they still need to be a high priority. The priority still at this point for my physique. Because again, notice the training is all bodybuilder training at this point. I don't think that's going to make me a worse powerlifter, by the way. I think bigger, leaner in the long term is a good way to play the long game, even if I want to walk in and have big lifts coming up on 50. But overall, I mean, the benching and the pull-ups today, just doing all of it while trying to get stretch reflexes at the bottom and just kind of continual movement for the most part. Lats were lit up. Everything got hit really good. I'm happy with it. So I'm like, let me try to do this with the incline. A couple of the incline reps, I'm not going to lie, here and there, a rep every now and then.
Is he only doing 135? What? Yeah, I think he's literally only doing 135.
I did not touch my chest. But I'm like, let me try the same thing here and try to just get that deep stretch. I'm wanting to get the stretch reflex.
Oh my god, he's so weak. Oh, this is hilarious, dude. Like, after Blaha talks so much shit about me, like, not training, being weak and crap, and, like, he can't even fucking lift. What the fuck? And then his only response to me is, I'm 47.
All right.
This isn't a warm-up. This is his working set.
Good. Same thing. I felt my whole upper chest and my delts. They got a great pump. What's interesting to me is that I'm not feeling any tricep on any of the pressing. It's all chest, and then on the incline, I'm definitely feeling some shoulder. Right. I do feel it all in the upper chest there. All right. For rows though, Michael, let me go back over to some wider grip barbell rows. And I stood on the plate because I'm like, and I wanted to see if I needed the belt because I'm bent over.
Zero.
And I kind of realized as I'm doing them,
yeah,
I
wow.
feel like I need
That's
the belt.
a lot of nice body English there, Blaha. He's literally just swinging the weight up.
Back off the later sets. Also, I'm trying to assess if that plate helps me or not, because it does give me the potential for a little more range of motion. So I was really trying to assess that a bit. I don't know.
Like, literally the only exercise that I think I've seen him do properly is bench.
I might throw the belt back on anyways, just for the better neural drive. Okay, better neural drive. This is a point of contention that's come up in my different circles, and I've gone back over. I've messed with it. I've done beltless training in the past for years at a time. I've done belted training on everything for years at a time. I don't think there's a negative to belt on it.
It's hilarious
actually,
how weak he is now.
I felt like I bent over, but I'm only able to do.
Hopeful Donate Tillers, thoughts on the 52 set volume studies? Is there a true limit to max recoverable volume? There is probably some sort of limit to maximum recoverable volume. It's probably hard to get to that point with weight training alone, because the only times you really see overtraining in athletes is with like athletes that are doing a ton of volume and they're doing a combination of strength and conditioning training. So like field athletes, you often see that. They get overtraining syndrome. When you're talking about only doing weight training, you're probably going to have a very difficult time inducing overtraining syndrome where somebody can't recover from their training. So the 52 set study, they didn't do 52 sets across every body part for what was the study duration, like 12 weeks. They only did 52 sets for legs. The study only involved leg training. Participants were allowed to do upper body training in their spare time, but they were only training legs, and they only did 52 sets for the last 2 weeks of the study. So they gradually worked up to higher volumes. So the takeaway from that study is you probably can handle very, very high volumes if you do specialization phases where you're only training like one body part. I don't think there's any real way to do 52 sets per body part, you know, for 8 or 12 weeks in duration. You'd probably just burn out pretty fucking quickly. I think Dr. Milo Wolf said he does want to do a study in the future where they do train with very high volumes for the entire body. But that would be very difficult. The amount of fucking training and the amount of time you'd have to spend in the gym would be fucking crazy. But thanks for the donation. Hope that answers your question.
Do that for one set and then I completely run out of steam.
Dude, this
is embarrassing. And I know because
embarrassing.
I've done it for 8 and then tried.
Dude, imagine like filming this and uploading it to YouTube. Just what's going through his head?
to rest 5 minutes and come back and I can't even do one
Does
rep.
he have like an embarrassment fetish?
One rep feels like a max. So I've got to build the work capacity, right? And that will keep building that upper chest up. All right, here's the thing. I've gotten so efficient with these movements.
For me for a minute.
Yeah, sure. Where is she?
Behind you. Other behind
Oh.
you.
There's Prim Prim. Hey, Prim Prim. Oh my god.
That's a little bit too hard for Vimo, I think.
Well, yeah, but Prismo likes to watch. Are you gonna take the thing?
Play with her for a bit longer.
Well, I'm streaming. I can't play with a cat and stream at the same time. Oh my god. Prim Prim. Oh my god. My little kitty. Hello, Faye.
It's funny, Prismo is not used to you playing with him and he gets confused from it.
Yeah.
He's like, what the hell?
For making them all torso dominant, I don't feel my arms. You know, I get a lot of people like, I feel rows in my biceps so much, and I get people do that, and I'm like, I don't anymore. I used to at one time. So realistically, all this stuff works in my shoulders, lats, chest. Okay, so I'm gonna have to prioritize arms, and I'm gonna continue to do that. 50% of my upper body workouts are gonna be arms. They have to be. I've got to do, in addition to my...
Oh yeah, let's watch this fucking arm training. This is gonna be great.
Right. I feel a little more upper back, obviously. So I feel more delt, but I still feel the lats. All right, the JM presses, I'm like, I get so much bench carry from these. Let me mess with them today. Meh. I wasn't
That is not a JM press.
happy with them.
That is a partial close grip bench.
So let's just call, meh, we're not going to rotate them in for now. I'm going to
He's calling this a JM press.
replace the slot with an extension. I'll do skull crushers here and then a second extension. You can either do the dumbbells, and I feel
This is what he's doing for fucking direct tricep work.
like with the dumbbells, I just need
Oh
to
my
use the
God.
smaller diameter plates. I need to use the...
Blaha's 47. I think he's been weight training since he was like, what, fucking 20, 25? And he still is this terrible?
5s instead of the 10s so I can get them in tighter. And I felt almost the same with the dumbbell curls today. All right, so for the other curls, I'm like, let's mess around and let's go with what we feel best. I feel like
That's right. Just swing the weight up. Don't control it on the way down.
a slight cheek curl
Just
on a wide
swing
grip
and
of
let it
this
drop.
really gives me a tremendous stretch in my biceps at the bottom. The eccentric on this stretches the hell out of my bicep because I'm going all the way to lockout. And, you know, I get people who look at this, and I don't know why people love to criticize my curling. Yet, here's the thing I'm going to point out. Have my arms gotten bigger? Yes. Do I have
His arms have not gotten bigger.
any tendon pain? No. I have no forearm, no tendon
Well, I bet you wouldn't have any tendon pain when you're not even fucking lifting.
pain. And I get a hell of a
Dude,
pump
what is he
on a
doing?
lot of these movements I'm doing.
This is fucking
If my biceps
retarded.
are crazy pumped,
He calls
feel
that a JM
stimulated.
press.
they seem to have made some progress as an advanced lifter. And I have no tendinitis, even doing the higher volumes. I'm going to take that as a good sign. So why the wider grip when I do these? I went ahead and went up on weight on this. Mainly because, again, my dumbbells tend to be a little closer. This stimulates a different ratio of the bicep
Dude.
just slightly. But notice that I bring it all the way
How much weight is that? 25 pounds? So he can't even do 95-pound curls.
in my face.
That's
I am
right. Swing
taking
it up and
the
just let it
elbow
drop.
through its entire range of motion. My forearm is touching my bicep at the top. Have the wrist cocked back so there's no tension loss. I get a really heavy eccentric load and up.
Like, it's so weird, too. Rather than actually curling it up, he does this, like, wide arc where he doesn't even get a full contraction. He just, like, swings it up, barely bends his arm and just lets it drop, and then he wonders why he can't grow his arms.
Stretch at the bottom. I feel my biceps stretch, and it feels really good. Let's disregard all the J-arm presses today. Yes, it hit my triceps. You know, this is above my neck and my chin, by the way, for those curious where that bar is. It was like, you're just lowering it, but no, it's not above my chest at all. But that's beside the point. Plus, that helped me build, you know, the 365 bench before. I don't know. I'm not feeling as much as I get on some of the extensions. So if we're not feeling it and we're bodybuilding at the moment, I don't care what it does for my bench historically. Okay, let's build some muscle. I need my arms bigger. So while it was fun to do for a one-off,
Holy shit! This
skull
is just
crushers with an easy bar.
the absolute worst form I've ever seen on a bicep curl.
Are absolutely a go-to. Band work versus dumbbell extensions for the secondary tricep movement are kind of where I'm torn, and I feel like I can rotate between them however I feel like, as long as we get that pump and the stretch. But the curls, these felt really good. These actually felt good today. One of the things people always complain about my flaring, but again, look at my normal anatomy. Watch when I've walked up to the bar on the rows and stuff. Okay, see where my arms are? That's kind of my normal position. I can't touch my hands to my sides, by the way.
What? He's saying he can't touch his hands to his side? This is just insane.
Exhaling and squeezing really hard. Just my rib cage and lats. This is what it is.
Yeah, his rib cage and lats gets in the way of it literally being able to reach his hands into his pockets. Sure.
Obviously, you know, I still need to lose body fat and lose skin around the waistline, but it's been slowly improving, and I'm just going to keep working at it. I'm going to keep chipping away at it. We're going to keep working on getting.
He is doing that exercise wrong. Also, he looks bloated and needs to lose some water weight.
Yeah, he is taking steroids, so that's probably why he is a little bloated. He's also just kind of fat, too, so there's that. But thanks for the donation, James.
Leaner. Keep working on building up the arms. Just keep moving forward. So I've only really early in the summer started caring about physique at all. It's really just been a few months. What has it been, 5 months or so? I'm not sure. That's how long I've cared. Now the training is gearing really towards it. The diet is gearing really towards all of it. I feel like my diet is really dialed in at the moment. I've had people come in, I've even had some already, and I'm already looking better than them, have said, well, I used to be a
This
Blaha
is
hater, but
embarrassing.
you actually are starting to look pretty decent. I'm going to stop hating. Fantastic. Kinder person. I'm not being as much of a dick as I was many years ago.
Looks like his skull crushers might have improved slightly. He's not going as far back, but he should try to bring the bar down to his head, and he's kind of like there's just a lot of really fast, jerky movements. He's not like slowly lowering it, getting a prolonged eccentric, touching the bar down to his head, then, coming up. He's just like swinging it around as quickly as he can.
And by the way, I'm actually fairly nice in person, guys. I'm really not a dick. But that's a certain part of all of our personalities now, maybe.
Oh, this looks good.
You guys want to see funny? I'm funny there every day. I'm here to help people.
He is so lazy.
To teach people, to get clients, to teach people how to train, teach them how to eat. Okay? That's what this channel is.
Yeah, same laziness that he has with the barbell curls.
But those curls felt good. So here's what I did.
At least he's getting more of an actual contraction with the dumbbell curls.
Crushers felt great.
Like he's actually bending his arms in rather than just kind of like swinging the bar up.
I've been really happy with skull crushers lately. The main trick is don't go under 10 reps. And I'm good. As long as they're 10 plus reps, and those were all 12. The curls, I'm like, I really want to mess with going into starting in a pronated and then rotating it up. Again, what are we trying to do? Work every single possible function of the bicep, brachialis, all of that. I'm trying to really, really maximize that. So that's why.
Oh, that is embarrassing. It's funny how he films this and is comfortable with uploading it. Like, if I filmed workouts like this, I'd never upload it. It's just so embarrassing. Yeah, what's funny too is I'm noticing he's not uploading as many client videos. I think he lost a bunch of clients. Yeah, he doesn't have nearly as many clients as he did before. Dude, who would buy this guy's training? Like, you have to be fucking delusional. Just why Blaha? His clients have to be fucking deranged.
Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and I thought I would sit down and do another Gear Talk Q&A for you guys because the last one went pretty good. People appreciated it. And I want to state up front that I do not endorse the use of any illegal substances. I don't endorse the use of any controlled substances outside of the care of a physician. And this video is not intended as a replacement for medical advice. So please check the laws in your own countries, and when in doubt,
Like aromatization.
I don't advocate people doing something like this lightly. Okay, I don't. Like, it's something you should spend quite a bit of time researching and thinking about before you even do that. And by young people, I'm assuming in your 20s. Okay, so context here. I call 23-year-olds children, by the way, because I'm 47. You know, to me, that's a child. So when you say a young person, I'm thinking 25, right? What should said young people look out for, and how would they run PCT? I'm not a big believer in PCT. Now, granted, if you were going to do something, I would consider something like Dr. Michael Scallion's Power PCT. Again, he's an expert in this field. He's devised his own PCT protocols. But just be aware, ultimately, we tell people doing gear, if you don't plan on staying on for a lifetime, just be very aware that you may need TRT sooner as a result of doing it. Keep in mind,
Okay, if Blaha's saying you should stay on gear indefinitely, and that's why he doesn't recommend PCT, because the idea is you just never come off, that's a little stupid. If you get side effects like maladaptive cardiomyopathy, you're going to have to come off completely in order to really get rid of that symptom as quickly as possible. So, like, yeah, I mean, a lot of people will always be on, but if you're always on, you're going to run that higher risk of having things like maladaptive cardiomyopathy, high blood pressure. You could end up with reproductive issues as well. A lot of people who never come off ever and just blast and cruise, they're more likely to have reproductive issues.
everyone will eventually need TRT, meaning you'll have low testosterone, but you are increasing the chances, and there's no guarantee you'll bounce back with PCT. But generally speaking, some combination of HCG and Nolvadex, just tamoxifen citrate, is usually the standard. But again, go do your own digging. Look at Dr. Michael Scallion stuff. I think he's a great resource for that. Of course, this question prompted a whole other conversation with this individual. He says, can high protein diets of 300 grams for a 245-pound man cause more sweating in certain areas of the body, such as my neck, while sleeping, on my pillow, or butt crack? I started to use spray deodorant, but never had this problem during my first cutting cycle. This past summer when it was hot, I did intermittent fasting in summer. Now I'm bulking and using...
Dude, this is so weird. This guy says he's using human growth hormone. Human growth hormone causes night sweats.
A lot of HGH. HGH is taken at night, so maybe that's the cause of the sweating. Test masteron MBP is what I'm taking. Yes, thermic effect from the protein.
Yeah, dude, what the fuck? This guy's on HGH. Yeah, no shit, you're gonna get night sweats.
Can contribute. I did ask him about, again, his ratios because of possible low E2. Low estrogen can cause sweating. Okay, that can cause night sweats. However, I suspect in his case, probably because he's already sorted that, he did run into issues, says he sorted that. I strongly suspect the high dose of HGH, particularly on a high protein diet, absolutely can be a culprit for night sweats. To some extent, not to the degree that, say, Tren or something will cause it. But yeah, and if you're sweating at night and your sleep is being disrupted, that could interfere with your gains.
Prim Prim. Prim Prim, where's your BMO? Oh my god.
So again, something to think about. Maybe consider reducing the HGH until you adapt to the amount you're using, right? Because he had said he's running like 7 units. And keep in mind, that's a lot. That's a lot. And if you're not competing in something that seems, my opinion, a little excessive. But he may be competing. All right, this next one required a little further inquiry, and I'm not putting up the entire conversation. What he meant by androgenic, he just means bigger delts, and all anabolics have the potential to disproportionately develop your delt area, delt upper traps and stuff, purely because you have more androgen receptors there, and all anabolics, doesn't matter whether it's test, primo, nandrolone, whatever, their primary pathway through which they cause muscle growth is through the androgen receptor. So that's really a moot point. They all do that. But he goes, what would be a good stack for someone wanting a drier look with more androgenic body status, but without running into the side effects of too low of estrogen? Ultimately, test plus a DHT. I mean, that's what I tend to recommend. But again, it's very, very individual. If you're a very low aromatizer, you might find even something like nandrolone pairs really well with test at moderate amounts, as long as you almost need blood.
He's recommending people take nandrolone? Holy fuck, dude.
Work to see where your E2 is. But generally speaking, it's something like a combination of test and just control the estrogen with primo, masteron, something like that is a very effective, time-proven strategy that tends to be pretty easy on your blood work. But again,
nandrolone is easy on your blood work. What a fucking whack job.
Those ratios really depend upon the person. So in other words, if you're either need to get blood work, or if you are watching for signs of low E2, you either need to reduce the primo or mast, or you need to increase your testosterone until it goes away, right? And that's going to vary. Like what works for you at a given body fat and training experience, it will change over time. Okay, and I found this to often be true. For example, literally getting leaner will change those ratios for you. Like the less body fat you have, the more those ratios need to increase. To the point where I have known of some cases of guys literally getting low E2 from running too much primo while even on a gram of testosterone when they're really lean, like literally crashing their estrogen by running too much primo with 8 gram of test. It does happen. So again, you're going to have to find your own ratios there. If you're looking for a strict rule, you're not going to find it. If anabolics help with protein synthesis, do they help replenish glycogen in the muscles at a faster rate? Good question. This is very nuanced. To some extent, testosterone is even close. In case some of the fake fullness, so sort of combinations. Do you think MK677 is actually comparable to injectable HGH? Not even close. Not even close. I feel like it doesn't.
Yes, that's true. MK677, it's a growth hormone secretagogue, so you're still relying on natural growth hormone production. It'll only increase your growth hormone by 10, 20%, if that. So that's not going to be anything close to using real human growth hormone and having 50 times the normal physiological levels.
Produces profound benefits, and it has a lot of side effects, particularly the hunger, the bloating, all of that stuff is way more pronounced with MK677. And it used to be because of cost, but look guys, we're pretty much in 2024. quality generic growth hormone is just not that difficult to source, and it's not that expensive anymore. We're at a point where some of the bigger companies selling MK677 just straight up openly, it's not any cheaper than running a moderate dose of real growth hormone.
That's not true. That's total bullshit.
It just isn't anymore. We're in a different era, so it doesn't really make sense to do so. And
I don't know where the hell he's getting his growth hormone from, but no. Real growth hormone is a lot more expensive than that SARM.
unless someone is taking it specifically to increase their appetite. But there's also other peptides that people use for that. Hey Jason, thank you for response to my previous question. This is a continuation of your response to adding Primo or Masteron to your TRT. Do both of these substances have fat burning effects or strictly increase muscle mass, or both? What is the difference between the two? Thank you. The differences between Primo and Masteron are way too much to cover in one of these short Q&As. I've discussed it in a previous gear talk. You'll also find there are plenty of very experienced bodybuilders and coaches right here on YouTube who discuss that in detail, like 20-minute videos to it if you dig around. They're similar, but there are some differences. As far as your other question, all anabolics have the potential to increase fat burning slightly. Okay, so keep that in mind. But what that doesn't mean is that they're just going to make you lean by default, meaning all of them slightly bias your body towards fat burning. More body history, pro-fat. All right. Then we got Buffalo, who's a strong dude. Do you think a lot of younger fake natties nowadays go to the juicing over 40 route of mixing a low to moderate test with DHTs year-round because it's easier to get away with? A lot of naive viewers look at these fake natties and say things like their strength levels stay consistent, so they're clean, or their physiques don't dramatically change to one extreme or the other, so they're obviously not cycling. Is this something that could intentionally have done to have an alibi? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I've said that for years. I've said before.
Blaha usually talks quietly because he has a roommate. So apparently his roommate, who's guilty well, she's on trial for murder right now. Apparently she doesn't like it when he's loud or something. And yeah, he whispers a lot.
I think plenty of the fake natties, the smaller ones, the sub 200 pound guys, they all run a modest amount of test in either Primo or Anavar or Masteron. I've said that years ago because that's pretty normal for exactly the reasons you described, right? They stay lean, they look good as a result of it, and they don't see ever dramatic changes because they're not running anything that makes them gain water. Now, some of the fake natties boof up, and it's comical when people say, oh, they're clearly not using, when they really boof up, and you can tell when they threw a bunch of D-Boulder.
It actually surprised me. Christian Guzman is on steroids now.
The newer model.
Screen.
Ryan Webb donated $2. Is Bloho, like Frank, going more towards plants? Let me see.
Hey,
Me eating plant-based does not mean bro diets are ineffective. That's interesting. Okay, we'll watch that. How much more time do we have? Let's take a break from the Frank vid, watch Bloho. Also, new compilation, lol.
I will fucking end you. I have worked as
Okay, we'll watch that Bloho compilation. Thanks for the donation, Ryan Webb.
everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and I thought I would sit down and do a video for you guys and gals. Sipping my water, my Sonic Cherry Limeade, my sugar-free, high aspartame stuff. So this is kind of a response to some of the comments I get to different ideas when I'm discussing things. And I think what a lot of people don't get is just because I'm working with an idea, I'm looking at research on something, or I'm utilizing one variable, doesn't mean that I reject or don't even use those other variables with clients, or that I don't think that other things work. And I think this is because so many people get caught up in very dogmatic black and white thinking that it's hard for them to grasp that a person can say X, Y, and Z all work. There can be advantages and disadvantages to each one of those things. And then maybe this over here, Q or P or whatever, maybe not so good, right?
And I think that's a lot for people to grasp. And I'll give you a couple things that we've talked about recently: training volumes, training style, training for strength, training for aesthetics, plant-based diets, all this stuff. Okay, great one to talk about right off the bat. You know, someone has said, hey, I thought you said bro diets and these
That's a good heckin' catto. Thanks for the donation, Oatgoat.
these high-protein bro diets can work really well for body composition, bodybuilding. Are you rejecting that now, since you're messing with mostly plant-based? And I'm like, no, of course not. So, I mean, here should be common sense. Have bro diets very successfully worked for body composition and bodybuilding purposes for decades? Yes. Do they have an extremely high track record of success? Yes. Are they easy to do? Yes. None of that changes. Things that
What's Prismo doing? Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
I'm talking about with loading more plants, number one, there's more nuance. It's actually a little harder to make it work because you have to focus a lot more on protein intake. Okay, it's actually
You do not. There are plenty of high-protein plant foods.
not as easy. Number two, when we're dealing with it, what else? Considerations. I am not necessarily telling anyone that, hey, if you're trying to comprise the overwhelming majority of your calories from these whole food plants, because again, I'm not talking about, I nowhere said vegan diets. I said a whole foods plant-based, which is what, even Alexander Leonidas was talking about. It's the same thing. We're talking about getting as many antioxidants, phytonutrients, and things like that as we can in our diet and cutting out things that could have potential negatives to our health. Meaning, what are we cutting out? We're
Blaha is going completely on a plant-based diet? Really? This is funny. I wonder if he's just watching my content. So, like, I know he is. I know he's watching my live streams because he made a fucking community post about me, about shit I said about him on my live stream. That is fucking hilarious. He must be seeing that I'm stronger than him and shit, and he's like, maybe I'll try his diet. That's funny.
trimming saturated fat down, trimming down refined sugars, all that stuff.
Oh my god.
And choosing to be in favor of loading as many antioxidants, phytonutrients, things like that as we can into our diet for health purposes, living longer, reducing cancers, reducing cardiovascular disease. That is what we're talking about. There is no conflict. There is no conflicting statement here. Does that make sense? None of that has anything to do with saying, hey, a chicken, broccoli, and brown rice bodybuilder diet doesn't work. Of course it works.
Like, it wasn't even too long ago. It had to have been, like, just a few months that he was saying, like, a vegan diet is deficient and shit, and, like, what was he saying? It's an eating disorder or something? Like, and now here's the flip-flop.
It is self-evident that it works because you guys have seen it demonstrated for decades extremely successfully for people in the pursuit of body composition as a primary.
Oh my god. Thanks for that donation, Grand Dam. Ryan Webb donated $2. I wonder if he'll delete this vid, lol.
Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. You guys know what time it is? Time to talk about current events.
Oh yeah, I remember this. Vegan Gains deadlifts 315 by 6. Yeah, he's talked a lot of shit. Well, yeah, who's fucking outlifting who now? Well, thanks for the donation. Oh no, wait, there's two. Also,
Incline reps, I'm not going to lie, here and there a rep every now and then.
is he only doing 135? What? Yeah, I think he's literally only doing 135.
I did not touch my chest. But I'm like, let me try the same thing here and try to just get that deep stretch. I'm wanting to get the stretch reflex.
Oh my god, he's so weak. Oh, this is hilarious, dude. Like, after Blaha talks so much shit about me, like, not training, being weak and crap, and, like, he can't even fucking lift. What the fuck? And then his only response to me is, I'm 47.
All right. It
This
works
isn't a
pretty
warm-up. This is his working set.
good. Same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty hilarious. Thanks for the donation, though, Cat Killer.
Carbs. That is very easy. That is the easy mode cheat code almost to body composition, right? It really is. But what we're talking about over here is maximizing gut health, maximizing antioxidant status, those sort of things. It's not the same topic, different tools, okay? We're talking fitness, not aesthetics at that point, okay? Same thing when it comes to training. Do I still coach powerlifters? Yes. Do I coach people who have aesthetics as a primary? Yes. These are not conflicts. And I'm allowed to change what I'm doing with my training too. The same thing, people are like, man, so do you not have any clients who do lower trainings, lower volume training, like 10 or 12 sets? I'm like, I have a ton of clients who do. Why? Because their lifestyles and their time commitment do not allow for the other. Okay? That's some things to think about. The really high volumes of training are for people whose lifestyles can accommodate it. I don't think everyone's lifestyle can accommodate that. And particularly the sort of people who will pay my coaching rates. These are oftentimes fairly busy people who don't have time to manage a lot of other things. They need me to do their thinking for them. This is why they hire a coach. They're busy. Think about, again, who would be hiring someone as a coach? Someone who has the financial resources that it's not as big of a deal for them.
His coaching is only like $200 for every 2 months or something. So you don't have to be rich to get Blaha's coaching.
Number two, they don't have the time to cover all the nuance of their programming. So therefore, they may not have the time to maximize their recovery, to work out 2 or 3 hours at a time. 2-hour workouts are out for them. It's not happening. Okay? Understand that difference. But so the same thing with conjugate. People are like, well, you're not doing conjugate. Do you not support it? Michelle's vlogs come up every week. She does conjugate. So therein lay your answer. You are allowed to program the variables of what you're doing based around your current goals, lifestyles, and needs. And because different things do not match up, doesn't mean that they're right or wrong, or you don't support them or don't.
You go to $8. If you found out that hypothetically Prisma was sneaking out of your apartment somehow and killing things every day, would you kill him? No, I'd just stop him from sneaking out. What if it was impossible to prevent? Would you kill him then? Sure, I guess I would. Thanks for the donation, Fugo.
See a use for these tools, okay? And I think that's a point that we need to be clear on. And I think what people will figure out, it's not flip-flops, is that I'm not dogmatic. I am willing to step back and say, what is the right tool for any given job? Okay, instead of saying, and here's the problem, and this is an expression a lot of people know. If the only tool that you have is a hammer, everything starts to look like a nail. What I am saying with a lot of this is that as a coach, as an educator, as an influencer, I am trying to look at the different tools for different jobs and say, hey, what is the best tool that I need to use here? Do I need to be using a screwdriver? Do I need to be using a hammer? Do I need to be using a CNC machine? Okay. What is the correct tool for the correct application for the job? And when you're doing that to the person who doesn't understand what you were saying with that, it will create confusion. They'll think they see you using a screwdriver to is better than. Yes, for hammering nails. A screwdriver, cylinder heads for a I'm definitely not using a hammer. We understand? Hopefully that makes sense for people.
So he's actually eating a plant-based diet now. That's fucking hilarious, dude. Dad. No, by definition, you'd be sad. I just lack motivation to do almost anything, even easy tasks. That is an aspect of depression. So there might be other reasons for why you're unmotivated, but if you're not actually feeling depressed, then you probably don't have depression. Maybe it's a very mild form, but I don't know. Just go to a doctor and talk about it. Thanks for the donation, PP. Dodo donated $2. Blaha's gonna put your ass to sleep, but not in the way you think. His soft-spoken voice is going to put you to sleep. That's how I like when he is doing the bullet pressing and softly speaking about how he wants to nuke Saudi Arabia. It's ASMR, yeah. The good old days.
Hey, it's Jason
All right, let's
Blaha
see.
here, and I thought I would sit down and do a video. A radio voice going. Find anything up. He made a criticism of me using a cambered bar, I think, on Christmas Day, but I can't find it on his channel. Someone sent me a link to that somewhere else.
Dude, he's still salty about it. He made a community post, and now there's several clips of me going around making fun of how weak Blaha is. And now he, because he's a fucking narcissist, and he can't handle any criticism, he has to, like, try to take a dig at me.
So, someone asked me, they're like, since you're pretty much doing plant-based these days for health purposes, does Vegan Gains know about that? Has he commented on that? And I'm like, that's a good question. I don't engage the guy. I don't interact with him because there's obviously some beef there.
He watches my streams. He knows. He knows.
He still holds, obviously, very, very negative feelings towards me, makes all sorts of content on me. But here's the thing, guys.
Figo donated $2. If hypothetically Blaha asked you to help him go vegan and train, would you? Or does his past racism turn you off it too much, knowing animals would benefit? If he actually wanted to ask me for advice on how to go plant-based, I'd give it to him. As far as training advice, I probably wouldn't give him training advice. But if he was genuinely asking me questions on how to be plant-based, I'd probably give it to him. Thanks for the donation, though, Figo.
I'm trying to be a more positive, better human being, right? Trying to focus on being a better person, being positive, helping people.
Is that why you're living with a woman who's on charge for murder? Because you just want to help somebody? Or is it that you're taking advantage of a desperate woman?
I have no interest in trashing the guy. I have no interest in smearing the guy, right? It doesn't help me to do so. There's no benefit to me or anyone else for me to trash this person, even though there's a lot of history there. Trying to bury the hatchet with people in general who, unless they are currently attacking me in a major problem for me, and there's definitely some out there doing that, who do make up a lot of completely insidious, malicious lies, pretty much as their career on social media. But, you know, the thing is, there's a lot of history there, and I do feel like at the end of the day, Richard has attacked me because I don't like veganism. And really, that is what it comes to.
I didn't attack him. I was just watching his fucking training, and I laughed at how bad his training was. You're just a lolcow. Like, what? This is fucking funny.
Down to, I understand that he is extremely militant in his position. But, you know, the thing I would say to that is, like, look, Richard, you should probably drop it at this point. I'm over here eating plant-based. I mean, if you looked at my social media, you saw my last grocery cart had tofu and soy milk in it, right? Sweet potatoes. You know, other than maybe my tortillas.
What the he's posting this in his community tab. Dude, this guy is like fucking deranged.
Which are ultra high fiber tortillas and my grape nuts. I pretty much am eating whole foods, but those are whole foods. They're crazy high fiber and they're made out of whole grains, so I think they still count as whole foods in spite of a few preservatives or salt in them. You know, not a big deal. But for the most part, I mean, that's what I'm eating. I'm not espousing veganism because I don't believe in the ethical philosophy. I am eating this way purely for potential longevity health benefits, controlling my my autoimmune issues.
What a flip-flop. Before he said veganism's an eating disorder, now he's literally eating a vegan diet, although he's not vegan.
Because I've made observations over the years, and when I do lower carb, particularly higher animal fat, all my inflammation issues get worse. You know, when I eat more plant-based, they reduce. There's an obvious trend there, so I'm working in that direction. But the thing is, you know, maybe he'll drop it, maybe he won't. Maybe he has too many hurt feelings. But I'm willing to put stuff in the past for people.
Hurt feelings? You're just a fucking lolcow. I watch you just to laugh.
You know, and I will be the first to say to Richard, look.
Dude, this guy made a community post, and now he's making a fucking video on the same subject. Whose feelings are hurt?
I don't have a beef with you, dude. I don't have a beef with you. See no need to fight with you, argue with you. And quite frankly, I hope he's doing well. And since he hasn't posted anything in a couple of weeks, you know, I'm looking at that going, you know, I'm concerned. Some people sent me stuff on it. I've hit several people, because they obviously want me to know about these things, had said that he was trying to go for something like build it to a 405 bench. He got injured. And he's depressed or something and not posting.
Has it even been 2 weeks? Yeah, I think it's been about 2 weeks since I posted the last vlog. I'm not injured. Like, technically not injured. I know, 3 weeks. So, I'm not technically injured. I still have the broken elbow and I'm recovering from the tricep tear, but I can train just fine.
All things considered, here I'm going to be positive. I actually hope that he is doing well. I hope that he does get his depression and mental health under control, and I hope he's able to move beyond it. Right? I hope that he's legitimately able to do that.
Sure you do.
Because that's part of being a better person, is to wish other people well, and I think that's a big thing that we have to do. Right. So I've said some positive stuff, and I'm like, I would like to bury the hatchet with Alex Leonidas. I don't know that I'll be able to, because of who he associates with. That's for Alex. I want to be clear. That is literally my only problem with Alex. That's it. That's the entirety of it. Who he associates with. And there will never be a reconciliation, I do not believe, with, you know, the person he chooses to associate with. But, you know, at the end of the day, guys, the longer I live, the more I've observed stuff in this community, the more people I see die. I've seen a lot of people die in my personal life within the last year. I've had to make some reconciliations in my personal life. You know, I've had to bridge a lot of gaps. Again, make peace with certain people in my life. And again, I've watched this happen. Seen so many people pass that I step back and I go, is this stuff worth it? Are these petty fights continual negative stuff about me for no purpose?
That was literally constructive criticism. Like, I just pointed out that he's doing partial reps with a cambered bar for no reason. And he can't handle it. He has to make a fucking community post saying, I'm 47, and then make another fucking video about it, because he's so salty.
I would love to put the past in the past in dealing with all these people. I think it's just better for everyone. Like, what are we all for? Perfect example. That is causing direct harm with a scam.
Alright, he probably has, like, a fucking stopwatch so that he can see the video makes 8 minutes so he can put multiple fucking ads. This did not have to be 8 minutes long. Oh my god, dude. This guy is so butthurt about me fucking calling him out for his bad training. That's great. Donation though, RV. Blaha's 5'5", donate $2, new Blaha immense. Let me see.
Here's the context of this call. About 2 weeks ago, me and another troll prank called Jason, pretending to be his neighbors. We told him that Alex Rosen and his cameraman knocked on our door, warned us about Jason being a threat to the community, and then handed us a flyer with more information on Jason's pedophilia and stolen valor. We both managed to get him on the phone for over 20 minutes, and his narcissism and loneliness becomes more and more apparent the longer each call goes on. Both of us played the concerned neighbor and pretended to be friendly with Jason. The point of these calls wasn't to roast Jason, but rather to
I've only just gone on steroids since August 1st. So it's been like, what, 42, 43 days, something like that?
freak him out. He left both of these calls wholeheartedly believing that Alex actually swept his neighborhood, warning everyone of the dangers of living with the blowage. The following is only my call with Jason.
Hello.
Hi, is this Jason?
This is
Yes, a moderate dose of steroids are healthier than alcohol. There's zero association between steroid use and cancer. There's a huge association between alcohol and cancer. Alcohol also does a whole lot of other things to your body. It's neurotoxic, lowers brain volume, increases the risk of Alzheimer's dementia, causes widespread systemic inflammation, triggers hypogonadism. It's liver toxic. I think it's even nephrotoxic. Triggers alcoholic fatty liver disease, disrupts your metabolism. Whereas in a lot of ways, steroids do the opposite. So some steroids, especially in high doses, they can be neurotoxic, they can be liver toxic and nephrotoxic. But again, if you use safe compounds and in moderate doses, you don't have those issues. And they also have benefits to your metabolism. So they prevent things like, whatchamacall, accumulation of visceral fat, liver fat. They improve insulin sensitivity, particularly testosterone. So yeah, steroids are better for you than alcohol. PJ Braun actually talked about this. When he was doing pro bodybuilding, he would run massive cycles of steroids, had no issues with his biomarkers. So his like blood pressure, lipids, kidney and liver markers, they're all fine. When he became an alcoholic and he was drinking every day, everything was fucked. So yeah, alcohol's worse for you than steroids. Taking steroids every day, absolutely better for you than taking alcohol every day.
Since you mentioned Rich Piana not having atherosclerosis, his autopsy said he had a small amount it. Surprised it wasn't worse considering all the steroids he abused and his high fat and cholesterol diet, especially with Ben & Jerry's cholesterol meds.
Okay, I might have misremembered. Maybe he had a small amount. Given his age, I think just about everybody is going to have a small amount of atherosclerosis by that age. He may have been on cholesterol meds. That's entirely possible. A lot of bodybuilders are on at least, low dose cholesterol meds. Some people just don't have elevation in their serum cholesterol. So you may just luck out genetically, and no matter what you do, your serum cholesterol is going to be low. So that's also a possibility. Who knows? But yeah, regardless of how you do it, as long as you can keep your cholesterol low enough, you're just not going to develop atherosclerosis, at least not to a clinically significant extent by the time you're dead. Thanks for the donation, though, Johnny Bravo. Yeah, we're going to react to Frank's live stream. Don't worry. We're going to look that up.
Yeah.
Santa Cruz meetup. Oh my god. I hate that Santa Cruz medicinals guy. He's a fucktard.
Yes, could you let me know who you are in the neighborhood? Because I don't know that this isn't those crazy stalkers pretending to be one of my neighbors. They pull stuff like this with me routinely. I've been dealing with the guy, if you're not him, or one of them, the guy who came to your door, his name is Alex Rosen. I've been pressing charges against him for 7 years.
Okay, I understand. I just wanted to get some things cleared up. This won't be a long call, trust me. It freaked out my elderly mother.
Yeah,
you know?
It wouldn't be the first one I've had today or this week or this year. So I get kind of, how do I put it, emotionally exhausted about it at this point.
Okay.
So just an FYI, I tend to just be like, I'm sorry, nothing I can do about it, sorry. I have to do this with my friends, my family, my brother, my sister, my cousins, on a regular basis for a decade. So in case you were not aware, I am technically a fitness content creator for 13 years online. I have a silver play YouTube award, so on and so forth. Like an
influencer?
I'm a tiered partner. Yeah, I hate that term. It's so pretentious.
Okay.
No, I don't drink Pellegrino or anything like that. The term is pretentious. So I prefer content creator and virtual coach because I do strength and conditioning coaching online. So no, I mean, if you go look, I mean, I have 120,000 followers on YouTube, 90 million views, 250,000 followers on Facebook. I mean, this is what I do. I have 7 Texas state records in powerlifting. So pretty much what I do, I have a group that, long story short, I have a group of obsessed stalkers that got latched onto me during a lawsuit 12 years ago. I was targeted by the largest cyber stalking ring in the world. They're called Kiwi Farms.
Okay.
I was involved in a big lawsuit, and the company involved hired a group of trolls and stalkers to start a hate campaign against me, dox my family, and then it got picked up later by Kiwi Farms, and there's some stragglers. The Alex Rosen guy runs an organ. The guy who came to your door, his name is Alex Rosen. The Hispanic guy's name is Jesus. That's his cameraman. He stalked me originally 7 years ago. Realized as a result of all of that in person, I had to press charges back then through HPD. He then later realized he really enjoys stalking people, and he found a socially acceptable way to do so by targeting pedophiles. So he started an organization called Predator Poachers that take hundreds of thousands of donations. So that's what he does. He's been arrested a few times for it again last month. But he still sticks to his original targets too and harasses us, once a year or so.
Okay.
So,
I'm willing to believe you. I can believe you.
Yeah, I mean, if you can go look, you can go look at the blue check marks. You can see who I am. You can hop to Facebook. You can hop to YouTube. I have all the blue checks. It's clearly me. You probably see me running outside in my shorts. So I'm the 220-pound power lifter who runs down the street in shorts, barefoot.
Okay.
It has a big garage open where you see me deadlifting 600 pounds and stuff. That's me. That's that dude. It's pretty much what I do.
Okay. I mean, I'm willing to believe you because, I mean, these guys were just weirdos. Okay, like they look weird. They're fat. No offense to them, but they're fat and out of shape.
They're disgustingly fat.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a pretty much a 220-pound guy with abs. So I just kind of go, yeah, dude.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, 220 pounds with abs. Right.
So the thing with it is, you're not the first person who's called.
Dude, Blaha is like borderline retarded. Like the fact that he didn't realize this was a troll, like, my God. Jesus. It's also super easy to play into his ego too, because Like, just listen to the way he talks about himself. Like, as soon as you flatter him, you can get him to, like, say and do whatever you want.
Called the police about them today, so if you would be so kind as to simply call the police and tell them that Alex Rosen, they know who he is because he's got arrested for other things.
I just gotta go take a piss. I gotta pee real bad. I'll be right back. Ugh.
He does legitimately go harass pedophiles, but he crosses the line with it legally. So he's found an outlet for it, and while I can appreciate that fact, the fact that he stalked me, I think he's a piece of shit.
Okay.
Because I don't think he does it because he really cares about kids. I think he does it because he enjoys stalking people. And who can he get away with stalking that everyone's going to turn a blind eye? The one that we all hate.
Yeah, that makes sense. He's using a group of people that, you know, everyone hates, and he's using that as an enabler. Okay.
Yeah, they're just going to be like, yeah, let him do it. You know, he's crossed the line and been arrested several times over it, though. So he kind of makes a big show about it. But I'd met him in person at one time when all this started early on. So he got really weird. He talked me into an interview and then showed up outside my condo. And I agreed to it. He's trying to.
Look, everybody. I've got a big kitty. Got a big kitty here. It's a nice big kitty. So big and so handsome.
Had a small YouTube channel he's trying to start, and so he lived nearby. So I agreed to it, and then he got really weird on me, and then he started stalking me. And I had to press trespassing charges back then.
Okay.
Because I was living, and yeah, so he scaled a fence with a no trespassing sign when I lived in Upper Kirby area. I'm over by Rice Village and all that. So I was in a condo with a gated community and no trespassing sign, that he scaled the fence and put flyers like that up all over the condos, filmed himself doing it inside the no trespassing thing, and uploaded it to the internet. So I pressed harassment and criminal trespass charges.
Okay.
So he kind of hates.
Any advice for elbow tendonitis, golfer, tennis elbow? Blaha just made a video, high reps with bands. High rep stuff might help. I think the theory behind it is it helps get more blood flow around to the tendon to help with healing. Isometric exercises seem to be best for creating resilient tendons or healing tendinopathy because they cause the most amount of remodeling of the tendon. It also helps to break down those what's the word? The fibers in the tendon that are like misaligned and tangled, that cause the tendinopathy. So isometric holds with 80% or more relative intensity seem to be best for tendon remodeling. So you can combine the two. You can do some heavy isometric exercises and very high rep work. And along with that, stretching can also help a lot.
He me for that. He was trying to become a police officer. He was like 18 or 19 at the time. He was trying to get a criminal justice degree at the time. And I think that kind of ruined his chances of being a police officer, which was, his thing. Which, that's not the person you want having a badge and a gun. So...
If I could just cut you off for a second, just to say something. He was, physically speaking, just creepy and weird and, just weird, right? So I didn't really... However, I will say that he was extremely, articulate and, very manipulative, I could tell. He can spin things, I could tell. He can talk.
Right. Again, I'm familiar with it. I've seen his work, and I've met him personally. I did an hour-long interview with him where he got creepy. In short, what he's doing is illegal, but it's not been illegal enough for me to get him arrested. And I have to deal with a whole set of blowback. And a bunch of other neighbors got texted by one of the guys who the FBI has talked to one time. But they said he's not a threat. He doesn't have the financial means to reach me.
Okay.
Because he's on SSI for schizophrenia and lives in California. So that if you got a bunch of those text messages, that was that guy.
Okay, I did not receive any of those. I did not receive those text messages.
A bunch of the neighbors did it. Unfortunately, I got numerous phone calls about it.
Okay. Well, you seem to have a lot of detail on him.
I apologize so much.
It's okay. No, I understand. I just wanted to what do you call it? Because my mom is elderly. She was really freaked out. They try to intimidate her. Yeah. So.
Right. Which again, how do I put it politely? He's a piece of shit. So that's exactly what he did. Going to intimidate an elderly person because he's 6'4" and 300 and something pounds. So
I'm going to be contacting the police about him. Trust me, I'm going to call them as soon as this is over. Okay. I will say just for your knowledge, I'll be contacting the police about them, and they were handing out papers on you. Just so you know.
I'm very, very aware. That's his MO. He makes new ones all the time. I'm used to it. Just for the record, I'm not a minor attractive person or any of that. In fact, I'm going to end up suing him eventually over this. So I don't want him to know that. Mainly because that level of slander, when part of my reputation that I've worked on, I've dealt with a lot of BS.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the things that I do with my outreach is I am a survivor of pedophilia.
Mm-hmm.
Press charges as an adult, and I've used weightlifting as part of my therapy to build the strength to testify.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that.
Yeah, he's said that. I really doubt it's true.
That is something that I promote. So then for, people to then target with something like that and accuse me of that is offensive and angering, to put it mildly.
Okay, I'm sorry that any of that had to happen to you, by the way.
but thank you. I appreciate that. It's been a while. I'm 48 now. People don't realize that when they see me. I'm almost 50 years old. Like, this guy is that old? It's like, yeah. But, but that's a part of what I do with my outreach. And so, but he tries to spin it that way so he can justify the resources for his organization. He's tried to entrap me with it a couple of times. I've caught him trying to do it. And I usually just block. Like, I know it's him doing it. We'll pretend to be an underage person and message me to my business page. And I just block it because I know that's him. So, and obviously I block them. I don't want anything to do with their nonsense.
Yeah, I'm just going to throw the paper in the garbage. I mean, that just seems like so... Like, he's just grasping at straws, it seems.
Yeah. I mean, so he's been doing it a while, but again, the more police reports, the better. When this happened before, even they had said, yeah, we know who he is because he's a problem. Police don't like him because he messes up their investigation. So what he does is entrapment anyways. Mm-hmm. So what he does when he's trying to catch people with his predators, poachers, he poses as an underage boy. And he uses pictures of his little brother originally. I don't know if that's what he's still doing. He was doing that at one time. And then tries to trick them into meeting him. Like wherever, and then showing up, and then he shows up instead of this underage kid, and then he's got him on camera and, embarrasses them and comes in their house or eats them at a McDonald's and eats their food in front of them and intimidates them.
Did you say his name was Alex what?
Alex Rosen.
Okay, I'm just going to write this down so I know who to tell the police he is,
Right. So he is Alex Rosen. He is the owner of an organization, Predator Poachers Texas.
Okay.
So that's his business. I can't remember the last name of Jesus. So the Hispanic guy who would have been with him, his name is Jesus, and I don't have his last name handy.
That's okay. He didn't do any talking anyway. He was just standing there like an idiot. So.
Yeah. So, he's usually his cameraman, so I'm surprised they didn't have any cameras out. They may have. You just didn't see it.
Are you saying that he was probably filming me?
Probably, yeah.
Okay. Thank you for letting me know.
If he was, if he had a little camera down at his side or whatever, probably illegal.
Yeah, people shouldn't be soliciting in this neighborhood. This is just bullshit.
Right. And then on top of that, to do that, and I've filed a report over this previously here. I had more numerous ones back in Houston. But yeah, he pulled this last year of flying everybody's yards, so they didn't actually go door to door. He won't come to my house with it because the police know, and I've told them, because I did the whole thing trying to follow a restraining order. I informed his father. I'm like, but I told them flat out, I said, he is a danger to me. I will use deadly force if he comes near me. There's not going to be talk to him. He's over 300 pounds. He's displayed that he is a threat to me repeatedly. And they've told him I will do that. So the police have told him. So he won't probably come to my door.
Yeah, he does not care about personal space. He tried to I don't want to say he tried to put a foot into the house, but like on that ledge where
Right.
Yeah, he did not care about personal space. That guy he has no business being here. So, I mean, I was yelling at him on the way out, but I just had to call to make sure. So I'm very sorry to bother you. Thank you for explaining this to me.
No, you're welcome. And I have to learn to just summarize it into cliff notes at this point. It's obviously extremely extensive. I've been swatted in the past and all sorts of nonsense. I've had to have the FBI involved with some of this. But Alex is kind of a spin-off from it because he jumped in, I guess, when Kiwi Farms picked it up.
Okay.
So and I'm not really a major target for them. But just so that you're then aware, Kiwi Farms' MO is to isolate their targets for anyone who's on their kill count. They're trying to get them to commit suicide. So essentially, when they target you, their goal is to socially isolate you, turn your neighbors on you, your friends, your family, that you fired from jobs, so that you're isolated and they can wear you down so that you commit suicide.
Okay. I understand.
So that's That's pretty much their modus operandi. I'm obviously not going to do that. I'm a pretty strong person. But again, you met Alex and Jesus, and you got a feel for them. They're pretty weird people.
You could definitely say that, yeah.
Yeah. Well, the fact that they're doing this alone, how do I put it? A well mentally adjusted person is not going to do something like that, going door to door. And again, I would point out that if I was a threat and was unstable and would have been a kill neighbors, it would have happened many, many, many years ago. Because it's not like they haven't been doing this for years and years and warning people and doing this nonsense. So,
have they ever, personally threatened you with, physical violence or anything like that?
Alex personally? Or have I been threatened with death threats? Probably 10,000 times. Not necessarily directly from Alex.
Okay.
No, I get death threats on a daily basis. Anonymous ones. I mean, resources are too thin.
Something. Just weirdos, man.
Yeah. Well, when they get, stay out of it. So that I don't get, emotionally involved or angry and do something careless. And, we don't need that sort of altercation.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was getting pissed at him. I was like, you gotta back off, dude. I was putting my hand.
There's a general rule that demographic too.
Dodo donate $2. Please watch 2615. So funny.
This is retweeted from the Daily Wire account, which is the.
All right, we'll watch that in a second. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Because they have a warrior mindset. There'll be occasional posts in the neighborhood group and the jokes with it, and I know a bunch of neighbors, and I can't work with no internet, and I have bustle.
Blaha talking about you and Alex Leonidas.
Elite professional athlete.
Okay, we'll take a look at that in a second. Thanks for the donation, Midget Blaha.
And Spec King of Morons defending Mom Donnie.
Yeah, the usual suspects. Dark Synovia is a fucking retard. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Or not naturally. Done. This is a very straightforward thing. Hey, lifting, I'm honestly, quite frankly, tired of arguing with you about stuff that has been my real life experience in the lifting world. Just stop. I'm not interested in your bullshit counter arguments. You're a child with no experience. Fuck off. Next. Jason, do you think Baldest is younger? Yes. We could see when he did his first oral cycle, it was very obvious. 10 years ago when he started, everybody knew when he went on gear and he got the moon face. It was overwhelmingly, glaringly obvious to every single.
So, yeah, he's a full-fledged retard.
Serious lifter on the entire planet. Everybody knew. We all.
So, if you gain weight, you're on steroids. Okay, I guess cake is steroids?
Knew, we all recognized it, we all laughed about it. You guys are so fucking naive. I just can't with the stupidity of not knowing this. You guys are not lifters. If you don't know this stuff and recognize it, don't claim that you're a lifter or a real lifter or know anything about the lifting world. Just stop. Now, just gonna call it like it is. Just stop. You are children with zero experience. If you even need to ask this. It was, everybody knew when he went on.
No.
So,
I don't think, like, literally anybody ever accused Alex of being a fake natty. Like, maybe some random fucktard in his comment section or something, but no one's ever accused Alex of being a fake natty.
Next. So just stop, guys. Answer whoever did all those likes took them all away. All right. Lifting, I've already told you the reasoning. When you start your first cycle, we all know. If you go to the gym with a bunch of old school lifters and you go on gear, we all know. You don't have to tell us. You don't have to discuss it. We can tell.
Uh-huh.
It is obvious. And as soon as you guys are no longer noobs, 10 years of experience later, you'll be like, oh man, I feel stupid as hell. Done. All right, so Sean is called for your kapow. Anybody else? Sean is a channel member. Alejandro's voted the kapow. Are we giving any space? Like, this is not even a point of argument at this point. Kapow, kapow, kapow. All right, Lifting, you're out of here. You've been found guilty by a jury of your peers, and I pass judgment.
All right, well, Jason is a very jealous retard. An iPhone with really good stability management, you know.
Richard is a gay faggot. Palestine emoji, short bus emoji.
Okay, I'll look at that in a second. Thanks for the donation, fucktard. Like, he doesn't put any effort into his content, and, like, this is just unwatchable garbage nonsense. Like, I can understand doing something like this if you have a selfie stick and you have a phone that has a camera with stability control, and you can make something that's high production, then maybe, like, actual human beings would bother watching it. But this guy is like a boring, retarded lolcow who puts no effort into his content. It's completely unwatchable. Obviously, the only people who are going to watch his shit are, like, just people trying to piss him off. Like, that's the only way you can get entertainment out of this. And then he's surprised people just try to piss him off.
So, based on that last comment, I can assume the last person is a piece of shit garbage thug. If the first thing that pops in your head when you see someone who exercises and runs, that they're running from the police, you're just a scumbag piece of shit who thinks that way.
By the way, Jason Blaha has been arrested before for illegal possession of a firearm and also possession of marijuana.
You should probably just die. How's that?
He also almost got arrested for taking somebody hostage. One of his trolls found out where he lived, and he put out a fake ad for a transgender prostitute at his apartment. Some random black dude looking for some tranny sex showed up to his house, and rather than just saying, I have no idea who you are or what's going on here, but yeah, there's no tranny here, like, leave, he pulled out his AR-15, held the guy at gunpoint, and forced him to give him his photo ID. The cops ended up coming, and lucky for fucking Blaha, the guy was married. So he didn't want to press charges on Blaha because his wife would find out about it and find out that he was trying to get a transgender prostitute to have sex with. If that dude wasn't married and wanted to press charges, he would have been in fucking jail for taking somebody fucking hostage at gunpoint. I'm not even fucking kidding. That actually happened. So it's hilarious how he's freaking out like this. Like, you're a fucking thug. Why would you ever fucking make a joke about me running from the police? He's been arrested before for illegal possession of a firearm and possession of marijuana. Who gives a fuck about the marijuana thing, though? And he almost got arrested for taking somebody hostage. The police just weren't willing to press charges because the victim wasn't willing to cooperate.
Like, you're just a piece of shit. You're human filth. If that is where your brain goes, You're complete ghetto trash. You serve no value to humanity. If that's honestly where your brain even goes. How you like that answer?
Like, does he actually think anybody wants to watch this?
Like, that's what...
This may be worse than his Blaha ASMR gamer channel.
Where your brain goes and you see people exercising.
What a fucktard.
Craigslist. I promise. 8109. I promise. I'm sorry.
It's okay. We got stalkers. You're cool. Hold on a second.
Somebody sent somebody to come in.
Where is this from?
On Craigslist.
When did they send it?
Yes, sir. I promise.
Okay, don't go to people's houses unless you talk to them first. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry.
All right.
This motherfucker almost got shot today.
For real?
Yeah, we've run off so many people.
You haven't seen me on the internet? You can pick it up at the front office tomorrow, you're trespassing. Put your shit on the floor. I don't care about your money, just your fucking ID. Who the fuck sent you here? You're the sixth motherfucker I've done this to.
Hey, sorry.
Number 6.
Sorry. You hear me? I'm terribly sorry.
Where did you come from?
Huh?
Who sent you?
It was an ad.
An ad for what?
It was a female, man.
A female?
Yeah. No.
What, someone pussy you're a prostitute?
No. I apologize. I won't be back. I'm serious.
All right, you better get the fuck out of here. No, you got the ID on before you get the fuck out of here. Can I help you? What's that?
Did you call us on that?
No, I did not. Will you do me a favor though? Will you guys do me a favor? Will you call HPD and tell them, give them the number, whoever sent you out here?
They're trying to get you killed,
They're
sweetie.
trying to get you killed. You know that, right?
I'm so sorry.
The police will explain
We
it
got
to you.
stalkers.
Yeah.
That's the number. My phone's going dead. I don't want to get shot. I'm sorry for
No, I'm not gonna shoot you.
It's random vids. Ruby Cherry Donatillers. Blaho's at rock bottom. You can hear him pee and not even wash his hands.
I'm gonna get coffee. I need to turn this fan on now. The coffee's warming me up. All right, we're back, guys.
Yeah.
Why did you guys hear me? Did I forget to close the door? Yeah. I forget that bathroom's really close. My guest bathroom is super close to my office.
Yeah, he does not wash his hands.
My main bathroom is massive, though. My main bathroom's like the size of my kitchen. But I got the little guest one.
He's renting out a single room from some old retired lady. So this is the only room that he's renting out. And so I don't know what he means. My main bathroom is huge. He's renting out a single room. And she's letting him use her garage for his weight training stuff.
In there. Oh, well. I should have closed.
Well, that's pretty gross and stupid.
The bill, unless a whole bunch of votes change, Congress will...
Blaha mutes www.youtube.
Alright, let me take a look. Thanks for the donation, Ed.
Well, clearly, I have the word stupid written on my forehead.
I mean, he might as well.
This is even my biggest critics admit. Like, dude, his strength code, I may not like Blaha, but my God, does he know how to get people strong.
Literally, like, I don't know if he's had a single client bench over 315.
Joe Fazer hired me at one time. What do you mean? He didn't use my program. I coached Joe Fazer for a while.
Yeah, apparently it was only because he was a retarded kid and Blaha offered to coach him for free. And from what I've heard, he didn't even follow Blaha's program. And then when he found out who Blaha is, he like just completely cut contact with the guy.
He hired me to coach him. We got his deadlift to 4 plates. That was his goal. No, I coached Joe about 5 years ago.
4 plates? Doesn't Blaha make fun of dudes who can only deadlift 4 plates?
I need to be paid for a debate. I'm not debating for free. Like, will I do a debate for sufficient money? Yes. Especially these days. I mean, I had situations where it was harder to schedule stuff. Right now, I'd be happy to do a debate, if I'm compensated for it. Sure.
Yeah, he's just so busy.
So arrange it and discuss payment. Sean, but can you afford to pay for it? Like, I'm not debating for free, guys. I mean, I'm more than happy to do debate videos. But I need to be a person.
I'm more than happy to debate anybody. I just need $100,000 per hour. 'Cause my time is just so valuable.
Appropriately compensated. So for me to do a 1-hour debate for someone else to then record and upload, I feel $1,000 is pretty reasonable.
$1,000.
I feel $1,000 is pretty reasonable.
He doesn't even make that an entire month through all his revenue sources.
Lane backed out, but we had agreed to $7,000 at one time for a debate. And that was a serious agreement, and then he backed out. Like, we had...
He's lying. Lane was willing to give him like a couple $100 or something, and then Blaha asked for something ridiculous like, you know, 10,000 or like, it was something absurd where it's like, yeah, I'm not giving you that kind of money.
Agreed that he was going to pay it.
Yeah, Lane never agreed to pay him $7,000. Lane offered to give him money for it, expecting he'd just ask for like a couple $100, you know, which would be, I guess, worth it to embarrass Blaha at the time. And then Blaha demanded like 10 grand or some shit. It might still be up on Blaha's channel. Eight years ago.
Hey everybody, it's Jason. You have to go in hard. For weeks and weeks telling me publicly that I'm a big coward if I didn't do the debate. And then when we had terms kind of agreed to, he backs out. And it's interesting the way he tries to save face with that. But for people who don't understand, no, I wasn't interested in doing the debate at all. I'm not a big fan of debates. And the reason I'm not a fan of debates is because I have watched a few academic debates, and at least one of which I watched a person lose a debate, admitted he lost the debate, right? Admitted. That's my problem with debate. Who presented votes. So I'm sitting here going, what do I have to gain from this? What did I have to gain from this? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I don't even like debates. I don't believe in the concept really. I think debates are about who can argue better, not about who has the best information on something or who's right on a topic. It means you can convince an audience better. There's a long history between Lane and I, his family, and any on that, but that's the reason. That's not how. Over a year before this incident, year before do it, just to give him a rap. All right, that says a lot about the sort of person he is. Now, that's probably all that would have happened. I need to be basically, with my mind says, I need to be compensated enough to keep my cool. Because there's no way I could be in a room with him. Obviously, it would have to be on camera, and I'm sure he feels the same way. I don't think Lane and I could ever be in the same room together. It's probably not a good idea. I have no intention of.
Lane never expected to be in the same room with him. I think he was planning on having it online.
Coming near him, I'm sure he has no intention of coming near me. So anyone who thinks that would ever happen, not going to happen. But the thing is, like, well, I need to be compensated for this. And then when he agreed to compensate me, what I agreed to was to be paid the exact amount of money, not a penny more, not a penny less, to what I made in December off of YouTube ads. And I threw that out there because it would be more money than he anticipated. I wanted him to agree to a number that was going to be higher. Because if I wanted $4,000, I could have just asked for $4,000. If I wanted $5,000, I could have just said, I want $5,000 to do this. Hell, he might have agreed. Who knows? But I instead did something that was going to be an honest, legitimate thing that I didn't have to fabricate. Because I already knew roughly what I thought I was going to make. And that it would be a higher number than he realized he agreed to. I did that just...
So there you go, caught lying. He literally admitted Lane never agreed to give him $7,000.
To mess with him. Because I would lock him into an agreement publicly to pay me more money than he thought he was going to have to pay me. Because he honestly probably thinks I made like $2,000 or $1,500 or something off YouTube every month. Because a lot of people who hate me, that's honestly what they think. And that's okay. That's fine by me. No one really needs to know what I make. And then he had said, well, I either need a tax return or I'm going to need a bank deposit from Google. And I said, well, I'm not giving you a tax return ever, because you could hurt somebody with a tax return. But I'll show proof of the bank deposit, which was reasonable, and I did. And, and he was saying, well, if he fakes this, then I'll sue him and I'll charge him with fraud or whatever. And it's kind of like, then when the number came back, it was higher than he thought it was going to be. And notice he didn't try to sue me for fraud or anything or threaten that anymore. He just claimed that it was made up, that it was fake. And he's got all these little trolls who are like, yeah, well, if that's real, then why of X, Y? I don't have to answer your X, Y, and Z. I have enough proof that would stand in a court of law. He couldn't drop fraud charges on me because I actually gave the
fuck is he even talking about?
Exact legitimate number to the penny with no fabrications. Like, I actually was honest on it, and I went into this knowing that if I lied, he'd be able to hold me accountable legally. Like, I knew that. That's why I didn't plan on what does he do to try to save face. Well, he realized he doesn't want to pay me that much money, even though he publicly agreed to it. And when he had agreed to it, I said, you know what? I'm going to drop all this other stuff. I'm going to let you pick the top of that pick. Anyone you have the home court backed out, it would be fraud.
What a dumbass. Like a literal fucking retard.
But I feel $1,000 for me to do a 1 hour, formal debate, with someone moderating it. I think.
Yeah, somebody's gonna give him $1,000. Let me see.
I remember the Lane Norton debate challenge. He tried to say you fudged the figures. He chickened out. He backed out.
Wait, did we watch that one? Yeah.
He fudged out. His agreement was, well, you pay X amount of whatever my YouTube income. And he said, okay, fine. And he said, but it has to be documented. So I notarized it. So the bank manager was a public notary. So I went to my bank. I went to my credit union.
He did not, he doesn't even know what notarizing something means.
At the time. And I had them print out the direct deposits with dates. Right? Had them print out direct deposits with dates and notarize it. And he was just like, I forgot. It was a significant. It was a lot more than $7,000. I think it was something like, you need to pay me 3 months of my YouTube ad revenue. an average of.
Yeah, notice how his stories change. So before he was saying it was his income for December. Now he's saying it's 3 months of income.
3 months, and he was, so I had him print out a full year. So my notary, we printed out a full year direct deposits from Google.
Yeah, and notice how before he was saying it was the month of December, and he showed a screenshot of the bank's bank statement. Now he's saying it's 3 months worth of income that they agreed to, but he printed out a full year's worth of bank statements, and he got it notarized. The story just completely changes.
So they were all spaced, so that we had a full year, and we could take the average. And when I then had it notarized, my public notary at the bank, so the bank manager printed it out, notarized it, stamped it.
He just lied. Like, he hasn't changed. He's just a fucking liar. Majin Buu on Tiller is 1.5x speed.
Hey, everyone.
Alex Leonidas trash talked me while being weaker than me. He's lifted more than Blaha on like every lift. The only exception might be deadlifts, but Blaha was like on gear and fat as shit.
Everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, representing Jason Blaha Strength and Fitness. And today, I've got a current events for you guys. So it looks like Strap-on Destiny, aka Alex Leonidas, he popped off at me a few weeks back, jumped up and said, Blaha hasn't made any gains in years ago, so you don't know what the problem is. Dudes, I'm about to turn 49. I am 2 weeks from my 49th birthday. Let's be clear.
I'm old. I have an excuse.
You guys have seen me in the last month bench 315 for 5 pause reps. Pull in 500 for sets of 6. I've done it multiple times now.
Oh my god, dude. 49 isn't fucking geriatric. And he's on steroids. Like, this is such a bizarre comparison to make. Like, he's also so much fatter. Like, oh my god. 315 for 5 pause reps?
Fatigued or gets really.
So, can you explain, like, this?
Heavy. It's just something I've always noticed. And when I say wide, I mean, I'm all.
So, that says 45 pounds, by the way.
Index finger on the rings. So instead of doing dips, I'm like, let's just do more back down, work on the bench.
Wait, there we go.
I feel like that's going to keep improving. I'm going to work on sinking it deeper and deeper more as I go. Sometimes it's an issue of my knee angles and stuff there, but that's okay because I get bigger legs and get stronger from high bar, and it carries over to my low bar. All right, benching. I felt today I was a little disappointed because I got the 5 reps of 315 on Monday. If a sub 220 body weight, that's a PR. Finally got there, and it's been kind of stuck since then. And I know I've got to adjust what I'm doing. The dips are not carrying over the way that I would like. Really, I just need to do benching and to hammer my triceps.
Okay. Well, I guess he can do that then.
Now, I pulled 6 reps with 500 with just a belt and a chop. Right? Nothing but shorts, a belt, and chop. Conventional. Friday, I did weighted pull-ups, 10 reps with a 45-pound plate. Okay, let's be clear on this. And yes, I'm going to be petty about this because
Alex was doing pull-ups with 345s when he was training with us.
I am petty. I'm not really a particularly nice person. I don't want people like to pick fights. I am a kind person. I'm a generous person, but I'm a dick. And you all know this. So guys, that little strap-on wants to pick a fight, and then he displays his real strength. He did a collab with Clarence Kennedy. Okay, keep in mind, he did a collab with Clarence Kennedy. Yep.
Weird. It's like he's shy of mentioning me.
What did he do in it? Did you guys watch it? I watched the whole video. And by the way, the only guy there who could even bench, only guy there who can even hang with me on the bench press is Vegan Gains, and he outweighs me by like 30, 40 pounds.
I weigh like 230. So he said he got under 220 now? So there's maybe like a 10 or 15 pound weight difference between us? I'm also like 6'3", whereas he's like what, 5'8", if that. So what in the fuck? Like this guy is just. Why doesn't he have a carer? How is he allowed online?
He's got a couple reps on me on the bench. He only pulled 405 with straps. Juiced to the gills.
Juice to the gills. I didn't realize, like less than 500, milligrams of gear per week is juice to the gills. But I guess he'd know. I also, pulled my butt before I was deadlifting that day, so I just went really easy. So I wasn't trying to push the deadlift.
I'm going to go ahead and catch him then. I think we need to catch him on the bench next. That would be my next goal. Since I can outlift him on everything else, he can beat me on the bench a little bit.
This guy's talking about beating me on the bench. Dude, I benched 410 naturally. You still have not benched 405. Still, after years of saying you're going to do it.
I need to catch him because I've hit that before at a higher body weight. My bench has been coming up. I should get my triceps bigger. I'll catch him next. But what does strap-on do? Those goofy elbow sleeves, which who knows how many pounds he gets out of that, they put 315 on the bar. Appreciate the super chats here, guys. They put 315 on the bar, right? He did a grindy triple, and he almost couldn't lock. He was grinding under the third rep of 315. Now, this is a guy who's Cloud B. His claim to fame with all this is that he could outbench and outpress me, right? That's like been his one thing over me. He claims he's got this 405 bench, which is questionable.
He has outbenched you. Again, he's done 405. You haven't.
Elbow sleeves and all this on. But when he's put in someone else's gym with other witnesses, he can't even do a triple. That third rep was a total red light grinder. He couldn't lock it. Okay, so let's be clear. That third rep wouldn't even count. Assuming he didn't have the thick elbow sleeves on, gets a triple. Are you guys telling me that a guy who supposedly just like a year ago benched 405 while lean, all of a sudden can't even do a triple with 315? All of a sudden when he's magically using someone else's place with witnesses?
He lost weight and he's focusing on different lifts. Like, yeah, that's what happens.
Because let's keep in mind, his bench and comp was 319. That's fair. I mean, it happens. We know he got stronger since then. A little bit stronger, obviously. I mean, he can do a triple with 315, sort of. Telling me he can't bench 315 for 3 clean reps. But supposedly was a 405 bencher not that long ago.
Animal Liberation donated $2. That's nice. Thanks for the donation, Gigliardo.
Historically, not like it's been 4 or 5 years or anything here, guys. All of a sudden he drops to that. He's a lion-ass fake. He is a fake. He's a fake. That 405 was fake because he can barely rep 315 when put to the.
You know, since Blaha is saying this, it's making me think that he's faking his lifts right now. Just knowing the psychological issues this dude has, so like every accusation is an admission. So it feels like the reason he's going after Alex, saying that his, 405 bench is fake, is because he is currently faking lifts. When taking steroids, can the skin, connective tissue stretch or rip from rapid muscle growth? You could get stretch marks if you gain weight too quickly. How can it be prevented? Don't gain weight too quickly.
The test. Fake fraud lift. I'm going to call it right now. That 405 was a fraud. Because when he's using someone else's plates at a gym, he can't even handle 3 clean reps of 315. There is no way he benched 405. He's a con man.
He has the exact same brand weights that I have. They're Northern Lights.
Comes over to deadlift. What does he do? Sumo with straps. By the way, keep in mind he is super short, so sumo is really easy for the short guys. Straps on a sumo. Pulls 505. Which I'm not hating on a dude. Look, guys, I'm not going to hate on a man who deadlifts 505. But if you're going to trash talk me, and you're a healthy young man, clearly on steroids too.
So yeah, Blaha's faking his lifts currently. Blaha's on steroids. So why would he, like, it's just so weird.
I mean, he's hanging out with gear users. And I'm going to call him on that in a minute, too. He's hanging out with the dudes all juiced up and giving them compliments.
What a fucking dumbass, dude.
This is the same guy who, towards me and this other stuff, said that he didn't believe in TRT, that it's degeneracy. He called TRT degeneracy.
Did he
Let's
really?
be clear. He called TRT degeneracy, but he's more
I think he might be mixing him up with natural hypertrophy.
than happy to go work out for a little bit of clout with another man who's juiced to the gills and give him all these compliments. Double the other day, so on and so forth. But I've done 6 reps now. Right? We're chipping back. I just blame the vegan diet for all their.
This is how it would pan out if Blaha ever met you IRL.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for the donation, Jessica.
Lost strength. But that was the other thing. He's over there, well, I got the 405 benches of vegan. He dropped that line in there. He dropped that line. But did anyone believe he benched? Anyone actually think he benched 405? He couldn't even do 3 clean reps of 315. Like that 3rd rep was pretty much a miss. They looked like maxes, the first 2. And I'm over here doing 5 reps with this without elbow sleeves. He couldn't even do a triple.
Yeah, I think he's faking his 315 bench right now. He very likely has fake rogue calibrated plates, and he's faking some of his lifts.
What do you think about one-handed farmer's carries? I suppose they're called suitcase carries, actually. They have their place. Whereas when I add a whole plate, I drop down to 5 as my best.
3309.
Jason, just so you know, Alex barely lifted. Are you talking about strap on? He barely deadlifted a 500 recent video with vegan gains and got 315 for a double. On what lift? Wait, did he only bench 315 for a double? Bro, this kid better. Oh man, can someone get me a link to that and send it to me on Facebook? Joe, can you guys link it to me somewhere? Wow. Multiple times. I've done it 2 different days.
What a dork.
Blahgements.
Let me see. Blaha. Clients in the FBI.
Got a client that needed a response. Yes, I typed that fast. Keep in mind, I've had clients in the FBI. I've had a competitive lifter who was FBI agent. But the issue is, because of his work, I had to keep it 100% private. But he did send my best friend a FBI patch.
All right, well, 2 lies here. Or 3. No chance there's anybody working the FBI who'd work with Blaha. He's clearly lying about it being private because he just admitted to it. And 3, he does not have a best friend because he has no friends. Nobody wants to talk to him ever, anywhere.
He got one of those little challenge coins.
He does not have friends.
But so far, I have had technically 2 clients in the FBI, but one of them we had to keep it super secret because, again, he's field agent. But I coached him all the way through a couple power.
Oh, field agent. That's how the FBI works. Yeah, did he train at the farm at Langley?
Coach your.
What a fucktard.
It vacuums as I get leaner and leaner, because as we lose visceral fat and stuff also, I want to be able to really suck that gut in on certain poses if I want to have that classic look.
This is how I looked training this morning at age 48, 210, not on gear and with loose skin from losing over 100 pounds. No, I don't look like a bodybuilder, but by normal people standards, my body is above average. I don't know how he's coming to that conclusion. Like, does he mean in terms of looks? I don't even know if he's above average in terms of, like, just general health. Like, he's not a very healthy person, just in general. He's been overweight for most of his life. Clearly, did some steroid abuse in the past. Dumb as shit. But, okay, I guess if he's happy with himself.
Look, we need to do that. You know, if I can get down to 190 or 185, nice and lean, 10% or lower body fat, realistically, what's the best thing I could do for myself?
He'd probably have to be less than 190. There's no chance he'd be 10% at 190.
Physique from there, be to put an inch on my arms. So I'm
yeah, no, he's only like 5'8" or something. He'd probably have to get down to like probably 170, or in the 170s to be close to 10%.
I want to just keep doing the bicep work now in spite of it having historically been a weak link, and let's just keep hammering it, right? Because a much leaner Blaha, a much leaner ripped Blaha with more arm, right? No one can hate on me anymore. You can't hate on that.
Yeah, it takes effort to maintain biceps as small as Blaha's. He still doesn't train them well at all. I know not everybody is genetically blessed, but I mean, you have to try to be this bad.
So it needs to be the goal. So we're just going to push it, continue to get leaner. Right? I feel like my legs and my back are in a good place. So if I can add muscle anywhere, it would just be to my overall pecs. It would be to my arms. And even though, I mean, we could argue about delts, honestly, and as I'm getting leaner, I'm really in certain angles. My delts are pretty good size. I just have to get leaner. But I did do some rear delt work to look how thick I am there. It's like, man, when I get leaner, we're going to be in a good place. But we have to just keep trimming the body fat down. So again, I'm still at 211. I didn't whoosh at all. But I'm going to push some of this stuff a little harder. You work on body composition, recomping lean gains down in the 190s, whatever we got to do. But I've just got to keep getting leaner, keep getting leaner. And my outreach will be better for it. Let's just be a lean.
And I'm assuming he has not gotten leaner.
Trim, mean, Blaha. Ankles, like the thickness is there. So what happens when we get leaner? What happens if we go down to, 190 or whatever, 195? We get lean, we get abs, we get the waist small. I've got all that thickness there, and I could really see it coming down with that the plate out in front. So honestly, even my arms are better than I realized there at those angles. So to get them a little bigger, but we get leaner, get the waist smaller.
It looks like he has a torn bicep in both arms. It's really weird, like the insertion. It looks like there's a tear or something, but I think he just has ridiculously small biceps.
In a real good place. So keep getting leaner, keep getting more aesthetic. HGH another.
Wait.
Leaner, keep getting more aesthetic. Leaner, getting bigger. So it clearly works. Again, has never looked that tight. Leaner and keep running the HGH another year. I think that loose skin is going to get way tighter too. I mean, yeah, granted, I need to lose the body fat.
Did he say he's taking HGH? So not on gear, and he's taking growth hormone. Okay, well, thanks for the donation, G. So yeah, it's
Well, I carry.
that's just stupid. Thanks for the donation, Blink.
Well, I carry. That's not going to go well. You know, and if I'm out of ammo, I've got a backup blade. Like, so I'm not going to be using my hands. It's just silly. That's just stupid. But then people act like that's not training. It's like, well, you're just not trained to fight. Well, I actually am. I just haven't done any martial arts in decades. I did grow up doing martial arts.
Yeah. He has not changed. All this bullshit about him, oh, I was just trolling and, you know, it was a stupid mistake. He never changed. He's the same delusional fucking liar he's always been.
It's not useful out on the streets. A weapon is useful on the streets. Now, I'm out of practice and they're perishable skills, so no, I wouldn't be a proficient martial artist. But it's just stupidity. Yeah, you don't want to be getting advice out on the streets. That's not a good situation.
Yeah. He used to be a martial artist.
Well,
What a fucking dork.
You know, because the United States is an oil exporter and
Turkey Tom should make a video about Blaha.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, no, Adam, I'm still an avid shooter. I've done some competitive shooting and stuff too. I may get back into some of that. But I grew up in that environment. I grew up in a competitive shooting environment. So my grandfather was on the Navy shooting team. No, Adam, my dad slapped me when I told him I was thinking of joining the Army. He slapped me in the face. My dad was in the Army in Vietnam. So when that topic came up, I got hit.
If you're lifting...
Sean, why do you have
Oh,
that?
thank you.
He's my hero.
Thank you.
He's a really
yeah,
bad...
you're helping.
Sean, why
That's
do you
great.
have that? This? He's my hero. He's a...
That's wonderful. Thanks.
But yeah, no, Adam, I'm still an avid shooter. Why would you do something that stupid? And he hit me in the mouth. So that was pretty much the end of that conversation. His words
Yeah, that was a
were,
lot.
my son will not go fight and die. You're my only son. Nope. But he hit me in the mouth.
Yeah.
So just resolved it. That ended it, because even my mom was like, she brought it up. Well, they're paying for his college and everything. You know, my dad like blew a gasket. Like, nope. Sample app, and because of the score, they were not talking about that at all. So I went to the recruiter, and then my dad shut that down. No, they were talking about.
Look at him fat eating a fucking chicken wing. Or a chicken nugget. Oh my god. Yeah. Hey Dad, I think I'm gonna join the army. Yeah, okay, dude.
Analyst type stuff. But yeah, no, Adam, I'm still an avid shooter.
I wonder where
I've
the
done
fuck
some-
they found that family photo.
now we can...
A lying jackass when it comes to veganism.
Jason Blaha's well over 200-pound, healthy young male client Alex only adds 1 rep to his 200-pound bench press AMRAP after 8 months of coaching. Pathetic.
Yeah, that's literally like 0 gains.
Pathetic.
200 by 5 over 200 pounds body weight. Oh, jeez. Oh my god. Dude, why, like, if you're working with a coach and after an entire month you've made 0 progress, why the fuck would you keep working with that coach? Oh my god, dude.
2,000 years later.
a year to add 1 rep on a 200-pound bench. Jesus fuck.
Packages starting at $300 per month for my elite online coaching services, guys. Upping my rates to $500 per month in January, son. This deep 6-figure lifestyle ain't gonna earn itself, hoss. Lock in your spots now.
Yeah, I don't know what he charges. He doesn't charge that much, but that's horrible.
You think that he's being honest about everything he uses exactly? This is Vegan Gains. He is a self-admitted sociopath, clinical. He admitted years ago, over a decade on camera, that he is clinically diagnosed as a sociopath.
I was never clinically diagnosed as being a sociopath. I had a friend who was a psychologist who did like an informal kind of interview with me and said I'm probably a sociopath. And a similar thing happened with the psychiatrist that I was seeing for the depression. She actually diagnosed me with, well, it wasn't really a diagnosis. She said the most likely thing that I have is narcissism, which is fucking weird. I don't think I have narcissistic tendencies. She said the main reason she gave me that diagnosis is because of my callous disregard for human life, so it doesn't really have anything to do with lying and manipulation. By the way, Blaha, without a doubt, is a fucking narcissist. This guy is a lying, manipulative fucking jackass.
His words. Do you believe that he's being honest with you about his doses then?
Like, I don't know what the hell I could possibly do to prove I'm on, like, a given set of doses. I mean, I posted my blood work. Again, 210 milligrams testosterone per week. My testosterone ended up being 2,220, which is right about where you'd expect it to be.
Coach, if given the chance, would you deport NH's bloodline? NH will never reproduce with a woman. So what do you mean his bloodline? Or in prison?
Yeah, Jason Blaha will never reproduce with a woman.
Vegan Gains for all the fraud. Yeah, he's on a lot of gear, dude.
I am currently on 300 milligrams test and 200 milligrams Masteron per week. And 5 I use growth hormone. And I have been taking 20 milligrams Anavar per day.
What he's telling you,
If you consider that a lot, then I guess you consider that a lot. I don't know what to tell you, but that's what I'm on.
he's using now might be what he was using 10 years ago. He definitely upped his doses recently.
10 years ago, I was on steroids, apparently. Okay, they weren't really doing that much.
Yeah, don't believe everything you hear if you haven't seen. Well, I think NH has already been deported. So, in prison. Now, I don't think that Vegan Gains has committed anything that's an imprisonable fraud, to be fair. He's a bad person, but I don't know of him committing actual fraud in H's bloodline. I mean, the bloodline term implies that he might reproduce with a woman.
Oh my god.
The implication is that there's going to be a woman who lets him bust nuts inside her without
What the fuck is this guy going on
a
about?
condom. I mean, there's some nasty women out there, so I suppose. But I mean, the dude hasn't had a shower in a month sometimes, so dude is nasty and greasy. A nasty, ungroomed, unshowered person who watches anime. I mean, realistically, he's not exactly a chat here, bros. Man, I'm just going
Yeah, and Blaha has rotten corn niblets for teeth, and women make him rinse his mouth out with straight vinegar.
to talk trash. I'm gonna talk that trash. I'm gonna do it all the time. I'm just gonna not care. I'm tired of being nice, quite frankly. I'm just tired of being nice and holding it in and being nice about people who pick fights with me. You know what? Fuck them. What's better, 6 sets once a week or 3 sets twice? I'd say 3 sets. If we had to pick tit for tat, I'm gonna go with the latter. These days, we could make all sorts of arguments as to why it's going to be about personal preference, but if I really have to pick and put money on one, I'm going to go with the 3 sets twice a week. Not saying it's going to be by a huge margin, or that if your nation is lover strap-on or still happily secretly married, then maybe it's just Reddit heresy. I don't know. It could be, man. I don't know, man. A strap-on's cheating on him with vegan gains now, though. They playing hide the pickle together in that little weird plastic-covered murder room he's got there. Again, keep in mind, Richard is a self-admitted sociopath. So when he's got a whole plastic up room like that, I'm just saying, I wouldn't rule out the fact that he is an ex-murderer. He loves animals and has...
You know, you'll notice every single person who's ever met me does not have anything bad to say. People have come over to my house, like Alpha Destiny, Clarence Kennedy, Ask Yourself's living with me. Even people who shall not be named because, the whole thing. Even she has not come out and said anything bad about me. She talked a little bit of shit before, but, aside from that, after all is said and done, have you heard anything from her? Has she said anything bad about me? No. So, literally everybody who's ever come into contact with me has never said anything bad. I've done collabs with people online and in person, and I've been to, expos, I've been to veg fests. Nobody has anything bad to say. So it's kind of funny how people make up this horse shit. I'm a murderer, I'm a psycho, oh my god, I'm gonna go insane, but then everyone gets along with me just fine.
Has only contempt and hatred for people as a self-admitted sociopath. I'm just saying. That plastic covered room is a little suspect. But they're probably in there playing hide the pickle in there together. So I think NH is going to be, they're going to have a lover's quarrel over that one. I was doing full body for most of this year, but transitioned to push-pull.
Last of Us Season 2 just won the award for Best Live Action Adaptation, beating Sonic 3 and Minecraft. It should not have beaten Sonic 3. Minecraft movie, that's just cancerous, but yeah, it should not have beaten Sonic 3.
Legs this week, I like having the extra recovery for the muscle groups, okay.
Oh yeah, Darius visited me and shit, so it's nobody has anything bad to say.
Yeah. I mean, I've done both approaches, I've coached both approaches, they both can work. If you enjoy it and are more motivated more, then by all means, man, knock it out. And I'm not saying it's a fact that it's a murder room. I'm just saying I wouldn't rule the possibility out. Even Coach finally caught the live again. What's up, Leonidas? I'm just saying all that plastic in there. Kind of weird.
Those are vapor barriers. The plastic on the wall are called vapor barriers. Fucking dork.
Jason, Alpha Destiny filmed a video with Clarence Kennedy and Vegan Games. No doubt they spent a lot of time gossiping about you like Mean Girls. You know, again, what does this say about their character that they're going to hang out with Vegan Games? Think about that for a moment. Think about the stuff that Vegan Games does do to people. Think about his stuff, and people are going to hang out with him just because he's a vegan and they're vegans. You know, they better
What exactly do I do to people?
not be claiming it's all for ethical reasons, though, because then they're associating with people who do pretty bad stuff themselves. I
Like what?
don't get it, man. I don't get it.
Like again, this person, like Blaha has literally held people at gunpoint. Like, what did I do exactly?
Harder unless I have a safety squat bar or the hex bar. Deadlift can be done at a deficit, come to think of it. Right? You have poor mobility. Well, JC, man, work on the mobility, bro. Didn't you say that you served in the Marine Corps, though? Now, if that happened and they threw you out of perfectly good tanks and airplanes and stuff all over the ground, I get it. You know, get some scar tissue and stuff. Why do they do that to you? Why do they throw you out of perfectly good vehicles? I don't get any of that. Come on, man. That's just abusing the troops. All right. Making you, I was in boot camp, yeah, an airborne contract for left. Yeah. Telling you had perfectly good airplanes. What's going on, Con?
Hi Richard. I came out of a 5-year depression recently. I realized the things I thought were catastrophic came down to viewing the wrong perspective. Now I'm frustrated how I spent my prime years being sad and angry, and I regret that. Do you have advice?
Yeah, just stop caring and forget about it. Just like jerk off or something. That's all you gotta do. Just stop caring. You're gonna be dead anyway, and when you're dead, it's not like you'll have anything to worry about. So what does it benefit you worrying about anything when all you're trying to do is enjoy life? So stop caring. Thanks for the donation though, JP.
Honor, how you doing, man? We managed to get in here. Tornado took out all the power in my neighborhood for 3 hours, but we still have had a good day. I somehow, in spite of that, closed a client. Before the tornado hit, I had no idea there was a tornado coming. We got no warning, right? So I had a client intake after I got done training. I got my blog up, had a client intake, closed the client sale, got everything sorted in the hour call. He went ahead and paid. I went to lay down for just a bit, just needed a breather because it's been a train.
He need to call with somebody for an hour to convince them to sign up for training? That doesn't make any sense.
I did the coffee chat, did my vlog, got a client, closed, and then the tornado hit. Like, it's storming. I'm like, oh man, it's storming really hard. It's lightning out there. Well, I was just trying to chill for a few, laying down for about 20 minutes, right? And then all of a sudden I hear my other phone in here, the alerts, and I'm like, oh God. Then I'm checking, oh, tornado warning. Everybody else.
Pookie Bear donated $2. Androgenic is a much better example of an ascension or looks max. Clav literally looks like he just hit puberty. He was never even close to ugly, meanwhile androgenic mutated from test. Well, and as far as I know, he's not on crystal meth, so, yeah. I would rather take androgenic's advice. But thanks for the donation, Pookie Bear.
On social media, tornado warning. And then I lost power for almost 3 hours. I lost power for almost 3 hours, but it's still been a super productive day. In spite of that, we had a bench PR. You saw the bench. Had the coffee chat this morning, good workout, closed the client sale, and I have a consultation tonight here later coming up. So it's been a productive day, man. And I still managed to get 2 clients sorted. 2 of my clients needed updates, got their sheets sorted. It's been a really productive day. Because that wasn't a client applied this morning. They applied during the coffee chat. And I got it sorted by the end of the day, and they've already paid their first month. Like, we're good. Jason, you go for the 225 for 20 next session. Bro, Joe, I feel like I'm so close, right? Because we got 19 twice. I got 19 and barely locked the 19th threat both times. But I got 315 for 5 today. I feel like we're super, super close. Like I'm right there at the cusp. Dropping in to hit that leg like Bobby did.
Close to what? How long has this guy said he was going to bench 405s? Like, he's never going to do it.
Yeah, that's not right, man. Bro, TD, that's not right, man. You should be ashamed of yourself. I'll take your life, though. I'm just saying that, bro. Right.
Blaha's a genuine fucktard.
There have been prosecutions of his co-conspirators.
Do you think Blaha is agoraphobic or actually has a social life he just doesn't tell the trolls about? He clearly does not have a social life. For one thing, everybody knows about him. Like, the whole fake mercenary thing made him hated universally by fucking everybody. He's burned the bridge with every fucking friend he's ever had. No one will talk to him. And you can just see him in public. He's one of the most weird, awkward people you will ever fucking see in your entire life. That guy does not have a social life. He does not go to parties. Everybody who's ever met him talks about how he's super weird and awkward and just acts strange. So nobody wants to be friends with the guy. Nobody wants to be around him. Everyone talks about how he's like a fucking weirdo. You can see, like, there's that public access television show that he ended up being on in the audience. He's just a weirdo. He's done collabs with other, like, YouTubers and shit, too. What was that weird fucking one he did? There was that funny one where he was, like, spotting, what's his name? It was really funny. Fuck, I can't even remember the dude's name. But he doesn't have a social life. He also doesn't have money. So, like, how is he gonna go out and do anything? There's a reason why you see him walking outside on his cell phone doing these streams and shit. It's because, like, what else can he afford to do but, like, walk outside? So, no, he has no social life. I don't think he is necessarily agoraphobic. He does seem paranoid, but, yeah, he has no social life, clearly.
If there were thousands of girls who were trafficked, raped, and assaulted...
Oh, yeah, Big J. Thanks for reminding me.
Donald Trump was...
Oh my god, I hate that. There we are. Yeah, so, like, that's the kind of weird shit you're talking about. Like, it's like an alien pretending to be part of the human race. So, he doesn't have any friends. He's not talking to anybody.
And yet...
Dodo and Chillers, he looks so gross even compared to a few years ago. The body transformation is mind-blowing to me.
Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here with Jason Blaha Strength and Fitness, and today...
Yeah, I don't... He's just retarded, you know? He's just a stupid guy. Very stupid. Yeah, everyone wants to see the inside of his leg with all the weird wrinkly skin.
Down below, be greatly appreciated. If you are not subscribed, please do so, and if you'd be kind enough to drop...
You know what I just realized? I think he might be so horrifically lazy, he might not actually have a tripod. Because I'm noticing the way the camera's set up is a little weird. It looks like the camera is completely horizontal with the floor. And it's also kind of framed in a way that's far away. Like if you're going to do a shot composition, it would probably make the most amount of sense to come in a little closer and have more of his body like in frame, but like it's a very wide angle. I think he might just place his camera on whatever random object is like roughly the appropriate height.
Me a comment down below. I'd appreciate it so much. Let's get over into the topic. I've said this before, like in Facebook posts and things like that. And I've actually said 75 hard should be renamed 75 easy or 75 pussy. And the reason is not that it's not a reasonably difficult challenge. I don't like challenges like this in general. I think they're ridiculous. I think they're silly. I think the little boot camps people do are silly. You know, we should simply barefoot.
Is he doing less reps than he was like the week previously? Thought he was bragging about getting like 8 reps on bench or something with 315. How much was that?
Let me statement. I train really hard 3 days a week. I squat, bench, and deadlift on those days. I'm almost 49 years old. All right, you guys see me literally just do rep work with 315 on the bench. I do 500 plus for rep work on a back squat or on a deadlift regularly. You guys have seen me squat 500 this year. I run barefoot 3 to 4 days a week. I get out and run barefoot. I get out and push a sled barefoot after my workouts.
So he has gotten weaker, as you would expect.
Keep in mind, guys, I'm squatting and deadlifting 3 times a week and then push a sled after. It's not hard. I eat pretty clean diet. I don't eat junk food. It's not hard. This stuff is easy. It's not.
Yeah, he looks like he doesn't eat junk food.
Really and truly isn't difficult. And that's the mindset that we have to adopt. It's just training. It becomes your normal. And I think the problem, and I'm going to take this over to all this stuff. Like, I'm only using this discussion, this little challenge, as a proxy.
I don't know why. He's just a baffling individual. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. It's funny how often he regresses in his lifts. I don't know what he does. Like, maybe he just gets hurt so often, like, just snaps his shit up, and then he like, that's why he always regresses. But, like, he was bragging about being able to do 315 for, like, 8, I swear, like, a week or 2 ago. And then he's, like, only able to get 5 or something the first set.
We first have to see what was changed from my last video. I won't go into why and
yeah. Blohotism donating $2. Blaha struggling with 315. Cab for 1. I can almost guarantee you he has pectoral tendonitis or tendinopathy. The way he's moving, it looks like he's in pain. That doesn't just look like he's not strong. That, like, actually looks like he's in pain. So for one thing, he's holding the grip fairly narrow. Like, I don't know if he really bothers doing like close grip bench variations, but like that's something you typically do if you're having pec tendon pain. So either tendonitis or tendinopathy. You use a narrow grip to take some pressure off the pec tendon. You'll also notice he has a very easy time controlling it on the way down. So if he was just straight up weak, he'd have trouble controlling the weight. Like, it would kind of just sink. And very, very slow off the chest. It doesn't even really seem to get through much of a sticking point either. It's just slow all the way through. So I think he's injured, and maybe he's too embarrassed to admit it or something. But it's funny, like, he was bragging about doing sets of like, what, 7 or 8 or something with 315 a couple weeks ago, and now he's struggling to get a single rep. I know he can't afford it, and he probably doesn't have the space for it either, but he would probably benefit from using like a Smith machine or something. Like, the next best thing, if I were to give him advice for that, would be to, like, one, maybe let the tendon heal a bit and not try to lift so heavy. But if you have reoccurring tendon pain like that, he probably wants to get one of those pressing blocks that you can attach to the barbell and just do the vast majority of his volume with partial repetitions, where you're not stretching the pec tendon so much, and you can still get that, like, you know, like a good muscular load, but because the tendon isn't under so much stress, you can probably just, you know, get in the requisite volume and intensity and everything you need without stressing the tendon out so much, and he might actually be able to make a bit more progress. But, like, yeah, it looks like he's just injured. Because it's weird that he'd have a reduction in strength like that, kind of out of nowhere. But he's going to hit 405 soon, when he did 340 probably fake plates 5 years ago. Well, he was fatter, and he was probably also taking more steroids. I don't know if I'd say it's fake. Like, there is good reason to think he may have been using fake plates, but he is at a higher body weight here, clearly, and he's also likely taking more steroids. All right, 315. Yeah, I don't know. Like, the plates look all the same. I'm not saying anything, like, plasticky. There was that one video where he was overhead pressing where it looked like he was using a fake Rogue plate. And this is supposed to be 340. I wouldn't really recommend using those, whatchamacall. It seems to be, these seem to cause more injuries because you can use more weight than you otherwise would be able to. And you can end up getting a false sense of confidence. And I've seen a lot of people snap their shit up using, can't remember what they're called. It's definitely a bigger problem in squats, but having to, like, walk the weight out or unrack it from the J-hooks, you actually get a sense of how strong you are and whether or not your setup is good. With these, you just lift the bar up, everything will feel fine until you actually start the descent, and then you realize you're fucked. So I wouldn't recommend using those. Yeah, I mean, something about it does look a little weird, but I don't know, I can't prove that any of these are fake plates, right? So, he's at a heavier body weight. He's also younger. He's probably on more steroids here. It wouldn't surprise me if he could do 340, you know. But something about it does look a little weird on the ascent, the eccentric phase. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to accuse him of using fake plates here just because I don't have any evidence, but some of his lifts have definitely been a little questionable. And when you do that once, you know, obviously you're going to be skeptical of everything. Thanks for the donation, though, Blohotism.